So, by way of a story so far, does one of our erstwhile protagonists, want to relay to our audience where we are in the story?
Brunhilde, they need someone to talk.
That would involve Brunhilde remembering where we are in the story.
Right. We had taken a tour into the sewers and come across what was clearly a ritual in progress.
I remember that.
Yes. Quite a large number of cultists and a poor unfortunate strapped to a dais. And after we had beaten the cultists to within an inch of their continued existence, we then discovered that the poor unfortunate was Matilda, the priestess, which put Leonard in a very dark place. And we had 2 surviving cultists, 1 fled. The first survivor turned out to be our little hireling, who's, I wouldn't say Sarah.
We actually had 3 surviving.
If you're counting her, you had 3, yes.
No,
So
we had 2 survivors and 1 had fled.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 survivors and 1 fled,
You
yes.
didn't say and, so it wasn't clear that they were 2 separate.
There was an and in my brain, just because it never made it out of my mouth. That's entirely your
I
business.
fully understand. My brain does the same thing, even when typing.
Yeah, especially when typing. With me. So yeah, basically, one of the survivors, Brunhilde, interrogated, and it turned out to be, once we unmasked her, quite literally, our little hireling, who had been allegedly checking up on information for us and was therefore researching herself.
Yes.
Claimed that the cult were doing what was right for the locals. They
For the
were
greater
helping out
good.
the people, their greater good. At which point, Brunhilde
They were
gutted
killing
her.
them for their own good.
No, there was no gutting involved. It was just an instant splat to the head. There was no gutting involved.
Less gutting, more braining.
Yeah, literally.
Because it's, what do you know? It seems Brunhilde does not take kindly to being betrayed. Which,
Not a lot.
no, not really. So after that, we had rather more leverage with the second survivor, who had seen what Brunhilde had done to the first one. And who proved rather more cooperative.
Possibly rather more intelligent.
Yeah, and told us that the girl Sophia,
Yep,
we were looking for, had been taken to his house, but equally that we had managed to miss the Magister, the cult leader.
Yes.
So we decided sooner rather than later we'd go and have a chat with his house.
I think I know how to find him.
Right.
I think he's lurking in chat with a chrono added to the front of his name, just so that we don't recognise him.
And indeed, hello, Chrono. But we've got to get to this guy's house, ideally, before anything unpleasant happens. He was in charge of moving the sacrifices around, keeping track of people. So he's going, it's his gaff, as so we are going to have to raid.
Yes, indeed. That sounds right.
Yeah, we did try following up the one that got away, but I think they had quite thoroughly got away, hadn't they?
Yes. The one that got away started off by chasing. I think it was Erdit through the tunnels, and where Erdit made a right turn, this guy clearly made a decision to make a left turn.
Yeah.
I was going to say it was a tight chase, right up until the end. He was right on my tail. It was back and forth all the way.
Yeah, or not.
Literally, it was literally the first right turn you made. He thought, "Screw this," and took a left.
Yeah, bollocks this, I'm over here.
And I nearly
Given
had
that he
him
did get
too.
away, he will of course be bigger every time it tells this story again.
Yes, absolutely.
He had his 3 friends with him.
Yeah. Didn't initially, but they were hiding around one of the many
3 friends.
corners.
Each of them had a pet dog that was trained to hunt.
Yeah, what are you worried about? You got ferrets.
Oh god, yes, the
Apple
combat
ferrets,
ferrets.
See, that's going to be a part of the story as well. How many ferrets died, keeping them off his back?
That died valiantly.
Do you reckon it was like Atalanta and the Golden Apples in the foot race? You know, instead of lobbing an apple behind, so that she picked them up and therefore lost the race, he just lobbed a ferret out behind, and each dog then chowed down on a ferret before they moved on.
Well, to be fair, the ferret did chow down on one of the bad guys, so yeah.
And yes, one of the ferrets did indeed headbutt a bad guy into unconsciousness.
No. Bit a already down bad guy into deathness.
Oh yeah, she did, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
God.
Yes, I think the ferret got the first kill of the fight.
Fair enough.
You guys had knocked him down. The ferret chomp.
Yes, we now need to sort out barding for a ferret.
Yeah, that is definitely something. It's
I recommend that for helmet we use a very, very small cooking pot and an elastic band.
I was going to.
We need a boiled egg cup.
No. I was actually going to, in recognition of his valiance, have commissioned a suit of mail for it.
A ferret in mail.
Of course you would, yeah.
Hang on a sec. This might fit.
Yeah.
I knit mail in my spare time. I just haven't had much spare time lately.
By the way, I'd like to publicly thank Fishy for the t-shirt, knowing that I am a huge Totoro fan. So thank you for the catbus.
You are welcome. Happy birthday.
Not being aware of Totoro, I had no idea what the t-shirt represented, so apologies for that.
Yeah, no, that's actually a thing. That's a bus.
Oh, right, okay.
Given that it is Drut's birthday, can we get some emotes in chat? Anybody watching?
Absolutely.
Some happy birthday?
Wasn't actually doing the rub it in, it was my birthday. I just wanted to say thank you.
Knight, you need some education on Studio Ghibli.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone teach me all about Studio Giblets.
Yeah. My friend Totoro is one of my absolute favourite Ghiblis ever. Disturbing as hell and involves a 10-foot psychic mole.
I think I've seen one of Studio Ghibli's, but I can't remember what the title of it is.
Probably Spirited Away. That's the one everybody's seen. Yeah, that's the one that won the Oscar.
A good fan of Nauticala in the Valley of the Wind?
Now that I can see. I can see that.
Anywho, back to the plot. Now we've had our recap.
Yep.
Oh. Chrono's using... Thank you, Chrono, for using my emotes. Lit sticks. Incidentally, Drud, before we do get back to the plot, a thing that I should have known for years, but have only just discovered today because I'm an absolute dipshit. You share your birthday with my father.
Eek. Okay. Younger than him, though.
Yes. There's a few years difference,
one
but
of you gets one in any given year.
Yes, absolutely. I've had mine, so he's stuffed.
yeah, obviously there's a few years difference, but the date of the month is.
That's worrying. How long I've known you? I did not know that.
Yeah.
I only figured it out today.
It's all right. Somebody I know on Facebook popped up saying, "Hello, birthday twin." It was, oh yeah, okay, fair enough.
I also discovered that my mother shares her birthday with Bruce Dickinson.
Oh, that's just cheating.
That would explain why Bruce doesn't seem to be aging, because he only gets a birthday every second year. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So we are currently still in the ritual chamber. Leonard has done his best to deal with.
We're not in the ritual chamber, are we? Didn't we?
We came back. We came back to the ritual chamber to collect him.
We ended up going back to the Grey Lord.
You went back to the Grey Lord.
No, we were going to go back to the Grey Lord, but we discovered that what's-his-face's place was nearer. Closer.
So we're currently en route to Di Stefano's place.
With our prisoner, aren't we?
Yes. He would have given you directions, but you weren't sure that he wasn't going to stiff you.
Oddly
so
enough.
We didn't trust him any further than we could comfortably spit a ferret.
Ferrets are
Like
fairly
Erdit
well powered. You
ideas.
could get a reasonable distance on them. Erdit's already proved that.
Yeah, but how do you coil one up in your mouth
I said
enough to use with a
comfortably, that's
blowpipe?
the important phrase.
Now,
So-
come now, Fishy never mentioned a blowpipe.
Well, what are you just gonna do? Gob it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, given that we are without Leonard tonight, I'm going to assume that Leonard is taking Matilda back to the Grey Lord to be properly treated.
Ah,
Yeah, that strikes me.
that makes some sense. Oh, she's more than Leonard does.
So that's the three of you and Stefano heading off to Casa de Stefano.
Just the two of them, I think, actually.
No, you were coming.
You were there as well.
No, they were looking for me because I'd run off to the Grey Lord.
Oh God, that's right. Yes, you went to the Grey Lord. So there is. So you will probably encounter when you get there, Leonard, who will then tell you, oh yeah, the others are going to have to try and find Sophia.
Yeah.
We've absolutely done the correct thing that should always be done. So anybody watching this, if you're new to role-playing games, remember, copy what we do exactly and split the party. It's the perfect solution to everything, never goes wrong.
Yeah.
Whenever you get the opportunity, first sign of combat.
Yeah. Split the party, put the wizard at the front. Don't bother with a cleric, you won't need one.
That sounds like a D&D group. We don't have a cleric or a wizard.
No, we haven't got a cleric. If we had a cleric, we'd be able to get some healing. Unfortunately, somebody sacrificed the closest thing we had to a cleric.
Wizards are tanks, right?
Yes,
Wizards are in
absolutely.
tanks, ideally. Okay, what we need now is lots of sheafs of paper, and we'll be absolutely fine.
Are they skeleton wizards? Because if they're skeleton wizards, then it may well be tanks. Thanks for all the spells and that.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes you can see it coming towards you. You got nowhere to go. You just have to let it
can't dodge,
roll
yeah.
over you.
So
Yep,
Stefano
days.
starts leading you out of the sacrificial chamber. The way you came in, as it happens. And rather than heading to the surface, he leads you through the sewers. Leads you past a couple of obvious areas that would lead you up to the surface, and ignores them.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
Sort of did that.
After about 15, 20 minutes or so of hiking through the sewers, I would very much like a... Do any of you have any sort of navigational skills at all? Is this guy actually leading us around in circles and jerking our chain?
Leonard can navigate sewers.
Leonard is somewhere else.
Yes.
Yeah, we need compass.
I can convince the location that we're in that it is in fact the place we want to be.
Could I have an attempt at intimidating him into staying honest?
You can.
That's going to be strength, I suspect. Isn't it?
Intimidate, I would have guessed, was possibly
Cool.
leadership.
Or
Oh,
leadership.
sorry, your leadership was actually what I was
Yes.
thinking of.
Have a look
Oh,
at what-
Christ.
Yeah, we'll
Brunhilde, get your bloody mace, because your leadership isn't 29.
Yes, I just imagine Brunhilde sort of sitting there.
Uh,
One hand.
No,
If only
you're
had-
right. My leadership isn't 29. It's lower than that. Because I took an advance on it.
Well, bollocks.
Yes, that was pretty much my response when I rolled the 17 leadership.
So, Drat, would you like to try and intimidate
Not hugely,
for
but
Giuseppe
yeah,
Di
okay.
Stefano?
Oh, hell no.
Let's give him a cool roll just in case. Right. So, about another 15 minutes of walking. Now, you're pretty sure that you've covered more ground than this in less time.
Yeah.
at this point.
He's having a joke with us. Brunhilde.
Well, of course he is. We're in a bloody sewer.
I can hear you.
The thing is, I'm fairly sure I recognise that particular smear. Because I'm fairly sure we've seen it before. About 10 minutes ago.
I can still hear you.
Oh, you're mistaken if you think I care. I'm just wondering, Brunhilde, at what point am I allowed to pick him up by the ankles and put him in the sewer? As a method of persuasion.
I reckon whenever you want, really. I mean, I'm not some nobleman making you downtrodden and restricting you in what the things you want to do in life. But all three people, we can do as we want. If you want to dangle this man head first in sewage, that's entirely up to you.
Well, I'm just thinking, and I am deliberately talking over his head, or as much over his head as the 5'7" Lenore can. That he's probably one of the ones who was involved in trying to drown Hibat.
Hey,
in the sewer.
I didn't want to do this, and he starts reaching inside his jacket.
Oh, you had better be not going for anything sharp.
Are you going to stop him reaching inside his jacket?
Who's holding... we've got him tied up. Who's holding the rope? It's pretty much got to be me, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, it's not really going to be me, is it?
Well,
Oh no, Fishy, are you going to defy your principles and stop him from respecting his own freedom?
I think, given Brunhilde's perspective, he's probably forgone all those rights.
Oh, absolutely. It's basic human rights, and I'm not convinced at the moment he's basically human.
I am allowing him to go into his jacket, but if he brings out anything explodey, poisony, or stabby, I will break his wrist.
Understood.
I have the strike to injure.
He pulls out a piece of paper, a crumpled piece of paper, and starts looking at it. Looking around. Turns the paper around. It's this way. I got lost.
Discovered a map.
I got lost. I didn't want you to think that I was...
Well, I tell you what, because your hands are tied and therefore obviously it's going to be harder for you to handle, give that to Brunhilde. Because if nothing else you can read, so if it's labelled, here be death, sewer leeches that make you stink.
I can understand how your embarrassment might weigh more heavily on you than our need to rescue a young girl before she meets a fate either worse than death or possibly simply death itself. And so, to help you with your motivation, I will point out to you here and now that if we don't get there in time, then what happened to your little friend back there is going to seem like fucking child's play.
Yep. Does not take well to this sort of thing.
Well, you've got the map. Lead on.
How does it compare to the one we've already got?
The one you've already got shows the main sewer areas. This one looks like it shows a specific route, which leads from looking at the map where you were to...
Who's got our map?
Hello.
Bugger. Okay, well, that's
why I wasn't referring to our map, because I couldn't remember who had it, but I knew it wasn't us.
But what you can remember is that the map that you had didn't have the entrance to where the sacrifice chamber was.
Yeah.
But looking at how this map is laid out, it's only a partial map. It doesn't show the whole sewer. It just shows literally the bits around the route, channels that go off but aren't actually part of the route. They're just a channel that goes off. It doesn't show where it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe I had marked on the map where it differed from what it was supposed to be.
That still doesn't help us.
No.
It was actually one of the worst things they could have done, making sure that the map had gaps, because when we came across something that wasn't featured on one, not the other, reality, not the map, that instantly got our attention.
Yes.
Because the problem we've got now is we've got this lovely bit of paper with a route on it, taking us from point A to point B, we will call them.
Right. Where are
We're not
we
bloody
now?
point A. Where the bloody hell is point A, and where are we on this map?
Where are we? Yes. Okay. Point it out to us.
He sort of reaches across and we're there. We came from there. We go in there. And you're looking see that marker there, that little sort of hatch line across the path? That's a door that doesn't exist on what you might consider the regular sewer map. It's not marked.
Right.
And
Can
when you
I
get to
make
that door,
some sort of intelligence test to see whether I think where he's telling us we are is remotely correct
go for it.
based on our travels so far? Can I have
Apparently
no
not.
clue whatsoever where we are in the sewer? 87, that's a little higher than my intelligence. Just a
Now,
little.
when we get to that door, either I'm going to have to talk you through how to open it, or you're going to need me to open it. Because it's trapped.
Oh, good.
Wacko.
Well, we didn't want just anyone blundering into our little hiding place.
We don't.
No,
we
you've got
don't
to
blunder.
carefully weed out any potentially dangerous and psychotic. Oh no, wait, that's who you're letting in.
I'm just looking at the 2 rolls made thus far, thinking there's a reason I've brought my real dice in for a few minutes.
83, 74, 87.
And if this were a Rollmaster game, we'd be steaming it.
Yes, but it's not.
Yes. Right. Okay, let's assume he's telling the truth. Let's assume he actually has a functioning brain.
I am, and I do.
Good.
And if you could stop referring to me in the third person, just assume that I'm here and talk to me, that would be really nice. Thank you.
Oh, I will be nice to you. I will give you my full attention. If you really want me to.
You know what? I'll just stay here and stay quiet.
Good idea.
Hi, Tom.
Lance down, kill him. Alright then. Right. Right, okay, let's progress, assuming that he's telling the truth, and off you go, navigation girl.
So, are you following the map?
Yes, I assume so. I haven't got
Well,
the map.
we think we are.
Yeah.
Whether we actually are is another matter.
Okay, so
We're going to proceed on the assumption we are.
So counting off the exits, number of left, number of right, and making the turns accordingly, you do indeed find yourself at a sealed off section of a wall that looked very much like the section that led you to where the sacrifice chamber was.
Uh-huh. This be it then.
This is it.
Right.
You see the handle on the door there? The door itself isn't locked, but if you turn the handle the wrong way, it'll activate the mechanism that the maestro put there.
Don't tell what kind of trap this is.
I didn't put it there. I don't know. He just told me that there was a trap and that the way to do it was to open the door the correct way.
So what's the wrong way to open the door?
Push the handle down.
And the right way to open the door is to pull the handle up?
The right way to open the door is to put the key in the lock, turn the key, and then lift the handle up.
Have you got the key?
No, I gave you the
We
keys.
took it off then. We
We've
took
got
all
the
your
key,
keys.
yes.
Which key is it?
Show me the ring of keys. I'll point it out to you.
Mm-hmm. Do so.
Okay, sort of point that one.
Right.
Right.
Certainly looks like the right sort of key to fit in the lock. Turn the key to the left.
So unlock an unlocked door.
Correct.
Hang on, turn the key to the left, lift the handle. I'm sorry, this is a patio door. This is UPVC multi-point locking system.
Right,
Damn
then,
it, you've seen through my design
Yes.
mechanism.
Oh, that means no bug will ever be able to get it locked again.
Right,
No, you're gonna have to.
left, and then this bugger can open the door for us.
You're gonna have to shift the hinge a little and then close both bits at the same time.
Exactly, yes. Oh, God. I have history. Right.
As you turn the key to the left, you'll hear a click. That's the mechanism disengaging for the first half. The second half will be when you lift the handle.
Right. Okay. In deference to Brunhilde's suggestion, then you can do it, and we'll be right behind you.
Of course.
Well, technically in front of him, because his hands are tied behind him, so we'll have to do it behind his back.
His hands are tied in front of him.
I thought I had to tie in front.
So we'll be behind him then,
Yeah.
So he puts the key in, turns the key to the left, lifts the handle. You hear the clicks that he said you would hear, and he pushes the door open.
Right.
God, you're a bloodthirsty lot in chat.
I don't know, you sacrifice one likeable character and kidnap a child, and the next thing you know, we all want to go murder, death, kill on these people.
One likeable character that everyone thought was incredibly suspicious because she was too nice.
I never liked her.
I just thought her taste was dubious because she was willing to have physical contact with Leonard.
Well, there's that for starters.
She was either a saint or sus as hell. Either way, she was completely immune to disease.
They did say pure of heart when they were talking about the reason why specifically her.
I know, but I really don't believe people like that actually exist. It's quite disconcerting to my worldview to discover that, yes, apparently she was. But didn't really do her a lot of good.
Maybe it was one of those chaotic afflictions.
Well,
A chaotic affliction to be...
you know how the problem is? When you get something new, you know, you're really worried about it until you get a little mark on it or you get a scratch on it and then you relax. Well, the thing is, she was obviously so uptight the whole time because she'd never been scratched. Probably got her killed. Oh.
Anyway, the Stefano gets the door open. Would you like me to walk through first, or do you want to take the lead from here?
Okay, what's beyond?
A short corridor. Turns left again, turns right. And then another door. That door also has the exact same mechanism on the trap, but in reverse. Turn the key to the right, handle down.
Depress, right.
And then past that door is the holding room.
Right.
Same key.
You can walk first. I will put my hand lightly on his shoulder and suggest that Brunhilde stay behind me.
Do you want me to hold on to the key for the time being, or do you want to claim it and then return it to me when I need to activate the door?
Give it here. If you do decide to run off
Keys
or
across.
anything.
Where would I run? You've got me tied and you have a very big sword.
I know. Which is
And I'm
currently
fairly
balanced flat on her shoulder.
And I'm fairly certain your halfling friend is a mean shot with that sling.
If you want to believe
Brunhilde
that.
will grin, and fortunately Brunhilde's quite a good liar, so her grin will look convincing.
Brunhilde looks like a feral halfling.
I mean, no one would wield a sling one-handed unless, you know, they were
Unless
They were really good.
Yeah. They certainly wouldn't do that if they had a 28 ballistic skill and were utterly shite.
28.
28. It's the high of my two weapon skills. There's a reason I've yet to hit anything.
It's the same as mine. But I haven't taken any advances on it.
He leads you down the corridor, and just after the first turn, he stops. Just a second. Something's not right. Can you smell that?
That's never a good
We're
start
in a
to a
bloody
conversation.
sewer.
I'm hoping that our taste buds, no, our noses have become accustomed to the sewerage.
And can we smell that?
There's certainly something non-sewery. What it is, you can't pin down, but there is certainly a non-sewer aroma that you can detect.
It's not brimstone, is it? It doesn't
Funny you
smell
mention
like
that.
demon.
It has a sort of sulphury, brimstony aroma to it.
Something with wings.
Oh, bloody hell, not again.
I know. I'm getting tired killing them. This is largely for his benefit because we've only killed one and we ran screaming from the other one.
Well, killing demons is your department. You're the expert.
You did most of the damage on the first one, but that's
I
nice.
didn't hit it.
You
I've
did.
yet to hit anything in this entire game.
See, that's how good of a liar are. You've convinced the combat beast that
That it was all me.
Yeah.
I know you chopped its wing off and then cleaved it in twain, but it was all me. I did the whole thing.
Despite
Yeah.
your skills at lying, your skills at telling the truth appear to be far
Pretty
less
low.
far less potent, as you know.
That's
Erdit
why
has
I'm not
no
very successful as an agitator. I tell people the truth about the way they're being oppressed by the nobles. Nobody believes me.
Yeah, Erdit has
If
no
I told them the
evidence.
nobles were lovely, no doubt they'd buy every word of it.
I have no evidence whatsoever so far that you've encountered any demons.
that's true. You've missed all the encounters. There was the one that flew off and the one that they actually killed.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I can't see anything in the corridor.
Before we
ahead of
go
us
any
now.
further, can you pass me the torch, please, or a light source of some sort? What am I going to do? We're in a corridor. If I want to run away, I've got to go back through you.
Mate, I've read the article today about somebody completing Skyrim using only the torch as a weapon. I can say someone's got way more patience than me. Okay. I'm assuming I'm holding the torch in my...
I'm gonna guess you probably were.
Yeah. Right. I will pass the torch forward. Which does through both my hands now.
Okay, so he's now holding it in both hands, so he can't really do much else. It's sort of held like that because his hands are tied together at the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
He
Worst
kneels
case,
down
he'll set fire to his face.
and starts sort of looking on the floor, up the walls.
Are we looking for anything in particular?
Yes.
Telling the rest of the class?
I'm looking for a tripwire.
Oh, good. Resisting the temptation just to put a hand in the small of his back and shove.
Of all the times not to have Leonard with us.
Yeah, he'd find it no problem. Probably by walking straight through it.
Aha! There it is. Found it. Right. Just there. You can see a very faint hole just there in the wall on the right-hand side. There's an equal one on the left. Between the two runs a very, very faint line of catgut. Step over it.
Right. And
Now,
what's
is
like...
this the kind of tripwire that we want to leave alone, or the kind of tripwire that we want to cut?
Do you want to die, or do you want to carry on?
Well, I'd like to carry on.
Then we
That'd
step
be
over
great.
it. The thing with tripwires
So
is
what's
they
it
break a
connected to and how does
connection.
it work?
I don't know. I smelt something funny. I wondered if someone had set an extra trap I didn't know about. They did. It's here.
Anyone else feel like we're walking into a hostage situation? Um,
I'm trying to keep you alive because I'm trying to keep me alive. All I know is, if you cut the wire on a trap, whatever the tension is that's holding it goes and the trap falls apart or explodes or does whatever it does. I don't want to risk that happening. So stepping over it's probably
But that's not
my
necessarily
suggestion.
how it works. You see, these kind of tripwire traps can work in two different ways. Either the tension is holding something back, which then moves like a spring or a weight or something when you cut it, in which case cutting the wire will set off the trap. Or the wire is attached to something which you pull on in order to trigger the trap, in which case cutting the wire will ensure that it can never be triggered. If it's the latter, then our best bet is to cut the wire. If it's the former, then our best bet is to leave the wire the hell alone. Since you don't know any better, and we don't know any better either, we'll go with the safe way, which is to leave the wire alone, and that hand doesn't exist, so I'm doing that with this one.
Good point. You have to stick it inside your t-shirt or something.
Yeah, I'm now sitting on it, effectively.
You're actually a messer defense.
Right, so we're stepping... He then steps over the wire. Throw them at it. And then he sort of hands the torch to Lenore so that she can see what he's been pointing at.
Yep. Okay, I will step over it, giving it a nice berth. How high is it? Is it going to cause Brunhilde any trouble?
It's not going to cause Brunhilde any trouble. It's only about that far off the ground.
Okay.
Far enough to be caught by a step that wasn't specifically stepping over it, but not high enough up that you can't step over it even if you're a halfling.
Okay. Right. On we go.
Indeed.
He then leads you through the rest of the corridor to the door, which is again as he described.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do this, or do you want me to do it with the key again?
You do it. I'd like to keep my hands free.
Okay.
Specifically, I want to keep my hands free because I'm now in this position.
That's a very big sword.
Yes. Right.
So he again does the mechanism at the door. You hear the two clicks, and he opens the door.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what are we looking at?
What you're looking at is a large. It's effectively a large holding cell. This appears to be the only door, the only way in or out. There are a number of beds laid out there, with table and a very, very crude hole in the floor toilet. So whoever was due to be kept here was probably kept here for some time. It's empty now. There is no one here. What?
It could be worse. Could be boom. Oh, you'd better have another idea as to where the girl might be.
I did say they may have come to take her away.
Right.
Haha.
Okay. Where would they take her to?
I don't know. Everywhere that anything was done was the chamber that we came from. So the maestro has another chamber somewhere, I would assume, or some other place that he would be hiding the girl.
Right. Okay.
It's got so many chamber in the country.
Yeah. It's location. He's got a crash pad in town, and full on summoning circle out in the country. For the weekends.
Does he have one in the chalet?
Well, depends how big the garden is. Okay. Are there any indications as to recent activity here? Any signs of struggle? Any signs of
No signs of
disarrayed stuff.
no signs of struggle. One of the beds looks like it's been sort of recently left. The sheet on it is, rather than loosely thrown over, it is sort of scrunched up and like someone's just got out of
Right.
bed. There is a table that has a couple of vials on it, one of which still has some liquid in it.
God. Well, no, there wouldn't be a struggle, would there? She was spark out. Ouch. And the puns are coming thick and fast. Thicker and slicker than footballs. Right. Okay.
There is also some uneaten food on the table. Like, whoever was being kept here was being fed, and even though held captive, not poorly treated. There's some water in a little wash bowl, and
Right. Well, you wouldn't want them dying of ill health before you got to sacrifice them.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Is this really the only way in or out, or is there a secret entrance? This is addressed to
it's the only way.
dead man walking.
This is the only way. This is a holding room. Technically, it is my house. My house is directly above here. We sealed off the only other exit that would have been upstairs into my house. It's behind that wall over there. I can show you where that is, but the wall is still in place. We bricked it up and skimmed it off. It's.
What do you suggest, Brunilda?
I think we've run into a dead end, literally and figuratively.
Not quite.
You're being very helpful.
I want to live. You see, you said earlier, if I helped you, you wouldn't kill me. So I'm helping you.
Fair.
We did.
I'm a curious sort. I don't trust people.
Well,
Not
with the
entirely.
sort of people you know, I'm not bloody surprised.
Because I thought when this started, this was something that our boss, first boss, main boss, was setting up as a secondary business, a deception.
Hang on.
So
Main boss.
Repetti.
Repetti.
I thought this was something Repetti was setting up as a with some plausible deniability. You know, set it up, put someone else in charge, leave no connections. It couldn't be tied back to him, but he was still recruiting us, who do work for Repetti. It made sense. So I followed one of the others who was closer in with the maestro than I was. After one of their rituals. I can show you where they went. I didn't go through the entrance once they left the sewers because I didn't know where it led and I didn't want to give myself away. But I can take you where that went.
Can you now? If they're warming up for a ritual, how long is their normal preparation time? How long does it take to get going?
For the sacrifices, there's normally 1 or 2 hours of preparation.
Mm-hmm. For something a bit more elaborate, possibly?
I don't know the full detail of it because I'm not that way inclined.
Whatever he wants to go for, though, it's something new.
And if that's more elaborate, then you're probably looking at a longer preparation time.
Reasonable. Right. Where are we in relation to the Grey Lord at this point?
Well, currently you're sort of firmly in the Tillian sector.
We're in the Italian sector, so
So
we're
you're really a short jog from the Grey Lord.
Okay, I think we really, ideally, we need Erdit, at
We're
least.
patrolling the Tilian sector, keeping an eye out for Romulan incursions.
Yeah. Where do we do the immolation? What? No. Okay, I'm just thinking we are short-handed. No pun
Is that
intended.
a personal comment?
When has it ever been?
It's doubly punny, as one of you only has one hand and the other one is short.
No, unfortunately, the one who is short also only has one hand.
So she is both short and handed.
Yes, Brunhilde is a halfling. I'm not. And I have two hands.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, we could follow straight away, or we could go grab Erdit and ideally Leonard and move in. But we might risk losing them and getting there too late again. She says, desperately trying to get Erdit back into the game.
I don't know. You know I don't like to say this, but I'm out of my depth. I don't know anything about this sort of stuff. We're making this up as we go along now.
Well, I don't know much about magic and rituals and stuff, or indeed anything.
Do either of your friends?
In any kind of legally provable way.
What we need is a band of adventurers. Maybe we can put a notice up at the inn.
Tempting to say, no, that's supposed to be... No, in fact, I think it's simply that we're on too tight a timescale. Otherwise, yes, a band of brave, adventuresome types, fully equipped and owning rope.
A bounty hunter or somebody who knows about this stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're going to have to spend 100 XPs to change career.
I mean, what have you got? A political agitator.
Somebody who kills people for money. We haven't even got the madman with his ferret.
No, I know. This is my point, though, isn't it? I mean, we're discussing whether we need to go back and collect the madman with a ferret and the beggar, because we might not be able to cope without them. It's not like we're saying, oh, hang on, go get the cavalry, is it?
I'm wondering about Lucia, actually.
Who has steadfastly refused to get involved since moment one. Can you afford to pay her? I can't.
Well, that's an interesting question. Hang on, Mo. I'll let you know. Oh, not really. Paying the experience? Enjoy the adrenaline rush of pure combat.
I can pay you in exposure. The exposure will be good for your career.
Yep, I've noticed my bank is great.
Different notice somewhere in this city.
Yeah. I've noticed my bank are great at taking my mortgage in exposure.
Are you looking for great volunteering opportunities in your area?
Oh God, yes.
Maybe we could fake up some sort of volunteer organisation that encourages the downtrodden to better themselves. The Graph's Trust or something.
Ouch. Oh man. Okay. Long term, yes, I like it. Short term.
Short term, you reckon we're going with the madman with a ferret and a beggar?
Yes.
That's the best we can get.
At pace.
You know, I'd never actually do it because obviously they are scum of the First Order.
Uh-huh.
But there's something to be said for changing sides.
Or not. I couldn't bring myself to.
Well, no,
If-
I didn't
if they'd
say
have us.
I would never actually do it. But it's the sensible course. If I were sensible, I'd have 2 hands, though, so not really an issue.
Whatever we do, we need to do it now.
Better to do, I suppose. Have we? May as well go back for the beggar and the madman.
Let's do it. We're heavily in the Tillian sector. Is he? Can we
still
get him
need
to
this
show
Bob.
us? Sorry,
Do we still need this, Bob?
I was going to say we could get him to show us where on the map he was planning on taking us.
I could, but given your level of trust, I'd be happy to lead you there.
I'm just dubious about him being above ground, tied up.
We've got to put him loose at some point. We did promise we wouldn't kill him. Can't take on further.
No. Right. How desperate does your situation have to be that you're looking for a beggar in shining slime? Let's face
The
it.
idea of Leonard as a hero truly does beg a belief.
Oh. Speaking of which, we should now have
know,
Leonard
that one
on
was an open
comms. Can you
goal.
hear us, Leonard?
That's a no.
I have Jack invited to the call. He's here. Hopefully he can hear us.
I'm going to put the kettle on while you're trying to get...
Okay. So the
Jick
plan
and
is to head
what?
back to the Grey Lord to pick up Erdit and Jick. Yeah, Leonard. Yes. Okay, Jick. huh?
Okay, I'm starting a war in chat. Hope nobody minds.
Hey, if it floats your boat.
I will
Let's try
defend
and
the
call
Bonnie
Jick
Tyler
again.
version of holding up for a hero.
Bonnie Tyler was amazing, but Shrek is very much relevant for our
Right.
beggar.
By Bonnie Tyler version, you mean proper version.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I love what Fish has behind his chair, by the way.
Oh, I've just lost you all. I closed the window on Jick's invite, and it closed you all.
Yep.
That caught me off guard. Apologies for that.
Yes, weirdly, I'm still open with him, Fishy.
And Kiki as well, I think.
Yep.
Cool.
Popping you out.
There we go. Everyone's back in again. Apologies for that, folks. I clicked the wrong button and killed the entire conversation from my side. Right, Jick says should be good now. Let's try again to get Jick in. Right.
Right,
Hey!
sorry.
We've got a Jick. Awesome. Hello, Jick.
Right, let me just do this. There we go.
Awesome sauce.
I can see chat. I can see Fantasy Grounds. It's alive.
Excellent. We're all here. The party's all here. We're good to go now.
Right.
You want Leonard to do a rendition of Total Eclipse of the Heart?
No,
No,
absolutely
no,
not.
no,
I think Leonard's heart has already been eclipsed once this evening. The
Yes.
in-game time. That's quite sufficient. So am I right
I've got
in?
to say, we're so far out of our depth in this one that I am seriously considering attempting to break the world record for how quickly can you roll up a second Warhammer character for reinforcements.
A wandering adventure appears. He's super effective. Somebody else from a fighter class.
So was the decision that you were taking Di Stefano to the Grey Lord to get
Yeah.
Leonard and Erdit? Okay. And possibly try and recruit Ludvika as well.
Which is good. Can we get directly to the Grey Lord through the sewers from here? Because that would be easier than
So more or less
explaining
just
to
outside,
people.
yes.
Yeah, okay. Because that would be easier than explaining to people as we tugged him through the streets why we were dealing with
Towing a
tied up
guy that was tied up, yeah.
Goodness, Lenore has changed her tune. Now you're just so eager to jump back in those sewers.
I haven't actually left them yet.
I see Leonard's having, I wasn't going to say positive, but at least some form of influence on the party. Other than the fleet, of course.
Yes.
You could try seeing it as having some form of influence over the party. I'm not going to say whether or not your assumption is correct.
Leonard has a great influence on Brunhilde. She sees Leonard and it influences her to want to be anything other than that.
So,
I see. So this is kind of like... Sorry.
It's okay. Upon arrival at the Grey Lord, Leonard had already made ways to carry the remains of Matilda there to be properly handled for the time being. In your absence, Jick, we figured that would probably be the most Leonard-like thing to do.
That is precisely what Leonard would do, yes.
So Leonard has already taken Matilda back to the Grey Lord to be laid out and tidied up, and then to contact her temple to be properly seen to from there on. Erdit, having now lost track of everyone else, has headed back to the Grey Lord as the main meeting point. So as Lenore and Brunhilde arrive at the Grey Lord with a very beat up looking person tied up and in tow, the party is once again all at the same place at the same time.
You say heading back for a regular meeting spot. I was actually going back to look for our pure of heart friend here, as I had not witnessed her passing.
Well,
in order to seek some medical attention for my heavily damaged arm that is currently wrapped in somewhat sewage-stained robe, so that I can avoid getting an infection.
That is very true, yes, because you left during the fight, so you weren't aware that A, the sacrificee was Matilda, and B, that the sacrificee had been sacrificed.
you know, he's got a rubbish memory, Kiki. You could have kept that one to yourself.
Until
quite
now.
safely. Yeah, until now. Now it's on record.
I would have not let you forget.
I also
We
have...
probably should have started the session with the story so far. After we got into the sewer and defeated the Magister.
But neither of you did that.
To dream the impossible dream.
Well, I think we defeated him on the fact that we have the moral high ground.
Well, it's a good place to start from. It's always good to hold the high ground.
Morally, we're in the trenches. And someone's feet smells weird.
If we're in the trenches, it doesn't matter, because somehow we still have the high ground.
And you say I'm Cthulhuid.
Yes, we do, but that's a different story entirely.
Well, fair play. Okay, right.
So in which case, there's some catching up you guys need to do between yourselves.
Quietly.
Roleplay, you suds.
Ow. Okay.
I'm not saying that to be flippant. I think that Leonard would be pretty non-communicative at this point, given
Okay.
this is harrowing and playing on his mind, and the body is there, so it's a bit kind of like,
Right. Okay, we need somebody caring but sharp-tongued and with a way with words to pull Leonard out of his funk.
Completely oblivious to Leonard and his body dragging, I shall storm straight up to the bar and clutching my arm as I walk up to the barkeep, say, "Where's Matilda? I need some medical attention."
He gives you a very somber look. I'm sorry, I'm afraid Matilda won't be able to assist you this time.
Oh goodness, do you have anyone else who's available? I'm in dire need at the moment.
I am but a simple barkeep
What the idea
who
is,
has
there's
enough of his own problems at the moment. Matilda has been taken to her room to be properly attended to.
Oh goodness, she's been injured.
She's been killed.
By Jove, what happened in here?
I think a bit of positional is probably going to be worthwhile here, and I think where Leonard would want to be.
Perhaps if you ask your companion that brought her back here, he may be able to give you the full story.
I think Leonard would be sitting outside, like on the floor, by the door of the room that she's in.
And Ezio pours you a very large shot of brandy and gives it to you. That one's on the house, my friend.
I shall, in an attempt not to be rude, drink half of it and unwrap unwrap the bandage and pour the rest of it over the wound to sterilize it.
Willpower check.
Yeah.
Yes, please. That's
where is
gonna
it?
sting like crazy. It's not quite. It's not exactly vodka level alcohol, but you know,
It's better than nothing. Oh, that's a no.
that's gonna sting like crazy, and you're probably gonna scream at that one.
Mummy, 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 mummy.
There should be kind of a low rumble of just, oh, what now?
I'll through muffled, gritted teeth, throw him some coin and say, "Come on, eat another."
He happily pours you another and slides your coin back to you.
I'll give him thanks and head up to find Leonard.
I'm just wondering, how bad would it be if we burned down the entire city? Just checking.
The amount that it rains, you'd probably need some kind of magical fire to do that.
I hear they're pretty close to making one of those.
I was just wondering about the potential, methane, sparks.
With the ill humours in the sewer, surely that can act as some form of explosive.
I don't care what mood you're in.
I mean, maybe you could even, if you're going to be burning down the city anyway, pull together some sacrifices and summon a demon to do it.
Yeah, or not. Okay, so can we make it back to the Grey Lord with this guy and meet up with the rest of them? Because we've got quick planning to do.
You did it on purpose, didn't you, Knight? I've just checked, and the Temple of Shalia, or Shalia, or however you wish to pronounce it, is literally on the diametrically opposite side of the city to us.
I didn't do it on purpose, but it was quite handy when I found out.
Does that mean that the worship of Shalia is cut in two?
Probably.
Well, before we do continue, I know you've got it up in front of you, Knight.
Yep.
Would you mind resharing the map with the sewer lines on it?
Absolutely.
I haven't got that in front of me. I'll be very grateful.
There we go. That should show it to all of you.
Hello.
I forget what any of these green arrows are.
They're arrows.
You weren't around for most of those green arrows.
Okay.
You were off running somewhere.
Hey, I'll have you know, I was running in very key and well-planned directions in order to avoid someone who was right on my tail.
Uh-huh. Right. Okay. Yeah, when we get there.
When you get there? Oh, you're heading across to the Temple of Shalia?
No, well, no.
No, we're back to the Grey Lord.
Grey Lord.
They're there already and we're not. I assume that's what you meant.
Well, I thought I said you were the last ones to arrive, and then said,
Oh,
"Right,
sorry.
role play, you
Okay,
buggers,
right.
or role play, you
Okay,
sods."
yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. We then got lost.
Yes, I shall approach Leonard upstairs, wrapping a clean, non-sewer ridden piece of cloth around the now sterilised wound.
Right. Okay. So
Leonard, I hear there's been an accident.
So as you guys walk in, I think it's fair to say that you probably catch the tail end of Erde heading upstairs whilst binding his wound.
Oh, we don't have
I'll
time.
say
for
that.
that.
This city's accidentally relying on us to try and prevent murder and demonology.
Okay. Words with the innkeep. Hello.
Good evening.
I take it
Well,
Matilda has been escorted back on her final trip.
She is currently being prepared in her room.
Right. Okay.
Your friends are up there attending to her at the moment.
Right. We have a lead on where we might be able to find your daughter. That's the good news.
That is good news.
The bad news
What they
is this gentleman is one of those responsible for taking your daughter. Now we're going to set him free now because he's been very helpful in leading us around.
I never said we were going to set him free. I said we wouldn't kill him.
I'm not killing him. I'm telling the father of the kidnapped girl that this is one of the gentlemen involved in arranging the kidnap of his daughter. And letting things take their own natural course.
Before you finished uttering the
So
sentence,
this is one of them, like them gag posters you see saying, you know, swords don't kill people, fathers with pretty daughters kill people.
before you finished explaining all of that, the nearest empty bottle has launched its way across the room towards the Stefano.
Yeah. I hate to have to say it, but if I do get the opportunity, I'm going to have to try and push him out of its way.
Would you care to make a dodge roll to do that?
Yeah, it's dodging him.
Well, not that I know this in character, but the Wizards and Alchemists Guild is considerably closer than the Temple.
Dodge blow.
Effectively, I think you make a weapon skill roll against.
That was it.
Dodge blow is an initiative check, if I remember
Ah.
rightly. Hang on, I will check.
Which I put up last game.
I think that's why you put it out.
Yeah,
Could well be.
and we'll just have to be
Dodge
two.
blow, successful initiative check.
Yeah.
Don't know whether you might want to make something else, given that it's not herself. She's pushing somebody out of the way. So you might want to adjust it slightly. I mean, you could argue, for example, that perhaps dexterity is more appropriate than initiative when moving somebody else, or even that strength is. Although the idea of being able to dodge well because you have a high strength is.
I think it's still the necessity of realising that someone needs to get out of the way and urging them in that direction.
Yeah. You could even just say single roll to get under both.
At the moment, I'm quite happy to take it as just a dodge roll, but you're just doing it for someone else.
I have an initiative of 45, and I just rolled a 44.
That is sufficient to move the Stefano out
Because
of the way.
of course you can't roll initiative. It's not on the
it's
character
a
sheet.
weirdity of the.
Yeah. Yeah. I sympathise. Believe me, I do. We can't kill him.
Well, then why did you tell him?
Because I would really like him to be very motivated to explain in great detail to this gentleman how he feels about him. Because we need him alive as evidence. And besides, we gave him our word that we wouldn't kill him.
I'm assuming this clatter of glass is
Oh yeah,
discernible
that's
from upstairs.
very much so. Yes.
Len's gonna stand up and just look square in the eye, as much as he's looking up into looking square in the eye. And just go, do you have a spare ferret?
Of course.
Fish, have you got the quote bot in your head?
May
Or do
I?
we not have it yet?
I'll
It's
pull
not
one
running
of the
because nobody bought to
scrawnier
run it.
ones out of the bottom of the bag and hand over a rather malnourished looking ferret.
I'm going to take care of said ferret. In my arms.
What did the poor little sod ever do to you?
Oh dear lord.
Poor ferret.
And I'm going to
If you call him
use
George, I will just hurt you.
my beggar's bowl of slop proffered to the ferret.
Oh, he's going to get superpowers.
And I'm going to
It's already got
Calm.
superpowers. It's already killed
Fine.
someone.
I'm going to calm myself, paying attention to the ferret as I descend the stairs, trying to control my rage at Stefano.
Right.
I not what I would have done with it. What happened to? Oh, I keep forgetting her name. What happened to Matilda?
They sacrificed her.
And it's not now, please.
Right.
Sacrificed, Lenore?
Yes. Yes. Big stone table. Lots of cutting. And Leonard's now going a strange colour under the dirt, so I'm not going to go any further into that.
I think that quite honestly might warrant like a willpower roll from Leonard. Because it's the kind of reliving such a harrowing event.
Behold, renewed trauma.
Right.
So,
Stefano, we are not going to kill you. And this is addressing the entire bar at this point. However, I don't think we can let you run free at the moment either. I think you should stay in the Grey Lord. I think you should help out. I think you should, in fact, do pretty much everything Sophia's father tells you to do, while we go and deal with this. Because you've been helpful, but I can't trust you not to go and have contact with your former comrades.
So you don't want me to show you to the place that I told you about?
We will... He's shown us on the map, hasn't he?
He has?
Yeah. Are there any traps we should know about in that area?
I didn't
that
go
you've
through
discovered?
the door, I don't know.
Right. In that case, you're of no further practical use. But as I said, we're not going to kill you. So it's this or the watch.
Very well.
I'm trying to remember the bartender's name. My brain keeps forgetting.
Ezio.
Ezio. Ezio, I gave this man my word of honour that he would not be killed. However, I leave it to your discretion how you now deal with him. Whether you turn him to the watch, whether you merely keep him here, in which case I might recommend tying him to something solid until we get back with Sophia.
Very well. I can find work for him.
Yes. I think some practical work in whatever capacity you happen to deem necessary will be excellent penance for the spirit. Some drains need unclogging, you know, shit like that.
In the most literal of terms.
Yeah. Okay.
As much as it.
So you're heading
Thank
back
me
down
to
into the
agree.
sewers, the four of you.
Sorry, Leonard was going to add a point to that, but that's fine. No, as in addressing Ezio specifically.
Okay.
Still very teary-eyed because of the loss of Matilda, but it was just as much as it pains me to agree, death just begets more death.
I would, however, for the duration, suggest hobbling him. As in, I'm thinking, the foot-long rope between the ankles, not cutting his Achilles tendon or anything.
Not smashing his kneecap.
No, that's a Brunhilde suggestion.
When have I ever suggested out like that?
No, it's the sort of thing I could see coming from your head. I mean, let's face it, most people's kneecaps are on your eye level.
She's not that short.
Brunhilde doesn't suggest, Brunhilde just
No,
does. As was demonstrated last session, there was no kind of like, maybe we should... No, it's just like, bang, gone.
Yeah. Right.
So back to the sewers then.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Immediately back,
How
I've
bad
decided-
is that?
I mean, I don't want it to get infected.
Right.
Shall we sit here?
Nobody else here has first aid or any kind of medical skills, do they?
Nope.
Shall we sit here, Odif?
Leonard, I said I don't want it to get infected.
Shall we sit here?
Ezio,
Shall
do
we
you
chill
know
out?
where the nearest physician is?
Nearest physician? Practicing physician? No. I do know that Ludovica has numerous times come back from wherever she goes with wounds and had Matilda teach her how to treat basic wounds.
Ludovica, not Lucia. I don't know why I called her Lucia. Right, where's Ludovica?
Too many Tillians.
Probably in her room.
Right. I'm going to go running up on the grounds that I'm about the only one who's not hampered, grief-stricken. Or too short to run up 2 stairs at a time.
I'm placing the ferret, I will name him shortly, around my neck.
Around your neck?
Yes.
Why is the ferret called Shortly?
Because he's not as tall as Leonard is.
Yeah. And being a bit skinny, you might be the runt of the litter.
The runt of the litter survived in that Darwinian hellscape, which is
think
this bag.
Let's face it.
I am looking
Oh,
for...
Windian hellbag.
The in-character out of character kind of alignment here is I am looking for a small but vicious ferret.
You're just wanting to transfer to Ratcatcher, aren't you?
I believe he is, yes.
And in lieu of a terrier, you're going to go with a homicidal killer ferret.
I'm also using it as a form of distraction in that there's a thing that will probably at some point bite me around my shoulders, which will probably take my mind off the fact that the only person showing any kindness is now dead. So,
So the ferret is an instrument of mass distraction.
yes.
I mean, they always have been,
I
to
am
be
aware
honest.
of that spawn, and this time I will be spawning shorter ferrets.
Shortly.
So you get upstairs and knock on Ludovica's door. She responds fairly, almost instantly. Come in. It's not locked.
Okay, I'll open the door.
She turns to greet you as you're walking in, clipping a dagger into its scabbard on her belt.
Something of a situation, a little bit time sensitive. We've got a wounded man downstairs, and Matilda's dead,
I know.
and you're the only person with any kind of first aid skills.
I know, she says, picking up a shoulder bag and starting to head towards the door.
Okay, heads out the window. Screw you guys, I'm out of here.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah.
She
Just as a
she
reminder,
looks like she's equipped for some sort of excursion. She's not wearing her normal, the normal attire that you've seen her. She's wearing. It could be best described as utilitarian. Also,
Damn sight
somewhat
more competent than
dark.
any of us.
lots of darker colours. You know, dark browns, greys.
Gosh, she's dressed not to stand out. That's handy.
as much as we have made a point of this harrowing injury, and I understand the baggy clothes, as a beggar is wont to do, might be showing it as a reminder that Leonard is also not in a good way, having been thrown across an
Oh
underground
God, yes,
room
he had, hadn't he?
and has probably bruised several ribs and a crick in his back.
Oh, bless him.
But it's okay, he's got Shortly the comfort ferret. But he probably would do some benefit with medical attention.
Yes, there is a firstly a question of how up to the task do our otherwise beaten up characters feel, and also the question of do we want to engage in a battle with 0 wound characters?
Poorly, no. Going to.
Oh dear, it is incredibly likely that's what's going to happen. There does not seem many other responses.
Well, we're on a very time-limited situation, and there's a good chance that Sophia might meet a fate equivalent to death. I was going to say a fate worse than death, but to be brutally honest, I'm not sure there is one. So, you know, unfortunately, we're not in our best place, but...
We're buggered, is the word you were looking for.
right is on our side.
Yes, that's always helped before.
We're not dead yet, are we?
Not yet.
Sorry.
Oh, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, how does Kiki keeps his stock going?
Right. Okay, I'm going to bring Ludovica downstairs. It got impact damage on Leonard. He got hurled across the room into something solid. I believe it was a wall.
Wall then floor.
Yeah. And I believe it was slashing damage to Erdit's arm.
Yeah.
Well, let me see. She sits down at a table in the tavern area. Show me your arm.
I'll
She sort of
undo
unfurls
the
her satchel
binding.
bag, and there are
Yeah.
numerous bits and pieces in there, mostly medical accoutrements, along with some other, what might be considered more professional implements.
Oh, I see what the vicious creature he was, by Jove, twice the size of me. Arms the size of the room, it was goodness, he had quite the swing.
One of the skinny ones ran
Shit.
out after him. Right. One of the advantages of you not being able to, not having to show us what you've rolled is you don't have to take the roll if you really don't want to.
Well, it wasn't a critical failure.
Oh boy.
She looks at the wound. Looks like you've done the best you can with this already. Are you a trained physician or medical
I've
person?
dabbled.
There's nothing more I can do for you on the skills I have.
Ha.
What about temples, Ezio? Is there a temple nearby?
Nearest healing temple's the Temple of Shalia, across the other side of town.
Yeah, but not only the goddess of healing provides healing spells. Is there another temple nearby?
Not one that I would trust, no.
Our choices are limited.
Ludovica looks across to Leonard. Let's have a look at you. Where does it hurt?
Everywhere.
Be specific. It's quicker. I don't care you're going through psychological trauma. We've got to go and rescue someone and not lose the entire day.
Well, it currently hurts on my right shoulder where Shortly is biting me, but generally it's my ribs and my lower back.
Ribs. Okay.
They do like to cling on to something, yes.
Well,
just
I
think of
won't
ferrets
apply
as-
this myself, but she pulls a small bag of something from a pouch. In there is a poultice. Apply that to the rib area for your wounds. And then when you've done that, come back. I'll bandage it. And that should be fine for you. But I'm sure you'll want to do that in private. I'm gonna come back down and I'll apply the bandages for you.
So, Lenore, Brunhilde, what's our plan here?
Right. Well, this
That
gentleman.
is a very good question. The plan so far has been, quick, let's run back to the inn and collect the walking wounded. Just in case we need, we're not outgunned enough.
To be fair, even wounded people can use bows.
Do
Or
we have
slings.
those?
I thought you did.
Goodness, no.
Just because he's an elf. Is that racial stereotyping there?
Mm.
I believe I read a pamphlet on that.
Probably one of Brunhilde's.
Brunhilde, could you go easy on trying to educate the minions?
For
Leonard.
the benefit of our anime lovers, as I'm very not versed in myself, but you could say he is an elfin that lied.
Oh dear.
Leonard, once you've applied the poultice that you've been given and return back downstairs, Ludovica does indeed bandage you. And
I'll
between the
just pop up
combination
my-
of her bandaging and the poultice, you can have 3 wounds back.
Yay.
Yeah.
How far was the marketplace and what time of day is it?
I believe it's night, but not far.
Okay, right. We don't have anything in the way of bows. You've got the only sling.
As she
I've got a
finishes
half-charged stick.
sorting out, bandaging up Leonard, she turns to you all and says, I know it's an assumption, but I had assumed you would be asking me to come with you. Now, if that offer isn't there, then I'm quite happy to stay here and
I know it's an
And look after
assumption, but
Ezio.
we had assumed you'd tell us to sod off.
Based on previous interactions.
I had other things that needed doing.
Right. Well, if this has now gone to the top of your priority list,
You think
Then
you know where
yes.
Sophia is? Yes, this is the top of my priority list.
then yes, your help would be greatly appreciated.
Lenda's going to look at Ludwika and go, you could end up like Matilda.
Oh, thank you for ideas.
Unlikely.
Holds back from saying Matilda was pure of heart. Vika is safe as houses. In that case, do you happen to have anything spare in the missile weapon department?
Spare? No.
Very well. Extending that out actually to Ezio as well. Don't suppose you've got a crossbow stashed under the bar, have you?
As it happens, I do. It's a fairly hefty piece, fairly old, but I have a crossbow and some bolts for it.
Right.
It's a last-ditch defense.
Mind if we
Perhaps.
borrow it?
Yeah, perhaps
Be my
given the
guest.
circumstances, it could be useful.
This is the lowest level. Scrape together what we can. I'm having a real early game Divine Divinity feel to this. Yeah, you're wandering around with a pot on your head, 3 sticks. I'm hoping that the local rats don't eat you.
We are so prepared for a big fight.
Are you?
No.
Bet you are, mate, because I'm not.
It's-
I think at this point, Leonard's pretty much prepared to die. So just
Wow.
throw me at something.
All I
Wow.
can do is I can help arm people. If anyone wants a shield, for example.
Well, I'd be better with. I've thrown things a lot better than I can wield that stick.
Right, okay. You've got your own knife, haven't you?
Let me just double check that. I do apologise. I do have a knife, yes.
Okay then. So I've got a spare knife, knuckle dusters, and a sword and a shield.
A spare sword and shield, or
Spare sword and shield because I'm using a two-hander.
does one require special actions to wield a shield?
No.
No.
No?
It's just a flat, like, defensive boost or something.
I've got to look it up, but I don't remember there being a specific skill for it.
Oh, fantastic. Because
Okay.
Ardith can wield a sword. I can wield
Okay.
a sword.
Right. In that case, which arm was it that got buggered? Was it his right or left?
It was my left, I believe, because I remember it was distinctly, luckily not being my main hand.
Yeah, this is going to hurt then, but okay.
Yeah, because you came out. It was when you were turning, and it caught your left arm.
Okay. Just seem to Hilda's thought patterns. Okay, I will whiz upstairs then and grab my spare sword and shield. I'm going to be needing to invest in new gear, or at least repaint the shield by the end of this.
Yeah, but I believe shield gives something like a +20 to parrying when you try and
Oh,
parry with it.
I mean, it's better than the dagger I've got, which is
One
minus
point of
20.
armor. Shield counts as 1 point of armor on that arm, and can be used when making a
So-
don't
Yeah.
know if it could modifiers. It may well do.
I'll
Right.
happily take the crossbow.
Yes, I'm not asking if it's a target shield, a kite shield, or
Saying that, Zena might not be strong enough to knock a crossbow. So, is there like a prerequisite?
There's no strength requirement for it.
Oh, so it's on a crank.
It's going to be either a crank
Yeah.
or a stirrup, to be honest.
Yeah.
And either one you could probably manage.
Yep.
So should I put that on my inventory then? How many
You've got a
bolts
crossbow
can I
and you have 12 quarrels for it.
Cool.
Look, we're all armed.
For now.
I was just realised I actually made a slight mistake there when talking about the shield. I think it does count as a point of armor for that arm, but it actually also gives you 1 point of armor all over.
Oh,
Having a shield
fantastic.
counts as 1 point of armor in all locations because of
Oh,
Yep.
having
Because
a
you
shield.
can move it.
yeah.
Doesn't affect any of us because we don't have multiple actions, but if you parry with a shield, yes, you do get the +20, as Knight said, that is absolutely correct. But instead of it cancelling your next attack, you lose all your attacks this round. So
Oh,
none
okay.
of the attack, so it doesn't affect us. But
Yeah.
at a later date, that may be
A factor.
one to remember for Lenore, because she's going to get multiple attacks.
Yeah.
So as far as things go, I'm probably better off just going with a sword then.
Well, no, the extra point of armor all over
Shield
is
gives you a
worth
point of
having.
armor all over,
You say
and a
that.
+20 if you want to parry with it. That's still good.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, so kitted up and taking an extra NPC with you. Presumably you are now going to head towards the point as marked by Di Stefano.
Yeah.
Okay. Back into the sewers.
Assuming everybody else is okay with that.
Before we go, I am going to hunt out some nails or tacks or something. I'm sure that Ezio will have some around
He
somewhere.
does indeed.
And on the assumption that she's never coming back, Brunhilde will pick up her remaining pamphlets all round the Grey Lord's tap room.
What are you talking about? Of course you're coming back. We'll return victorious.
You guys know that I don't need to make any kind of sacrifice to tell you this is a bad idea, right?
Bad idea, doing this. Worse idea, not doing this and letting Sophia die.
Only worse for Sophia. Actually, no. Probably not worse at all, because we do this, we die, Sophia dies. We don't do this, Sophia dies. Not worse for anybody, actually. Is it?
We do this and succeed, nobody dies.
That's going to happen.
Look, I am not
We
going to
met
stand.
3 people in a small room who were encumbered by robes and didn't have any proper weapons, and they kicked our ass.
No, they didn't.
They kicked everybody's ass except yours.
Your ass looks
Basically,
okay.
look at our record so far, and the logical conclusion is that we all stay here, or maybe come along and act as cheerleaders, and we send you in. Because you're the only one who's done any good.
It's almost like I'm the best qualified fighter.
Aye. Whereas I am a short person with one arm.
Who's still the second most qualified fighter.
I mean, you
Like
say that.
hell. He's got the lowest weapon skill in the party, I think.
So having put up all
Perhaps,
your flyers and leaflets and stuff, to the sewers? Was there anything anyone else wants to do before we change scene?
Do you, go on.
Just pay one last respects to Matilda before going off.
Lenore, are you sure you don't know any other people in this area that might be able to assist us?
Who else do I know?
Well,
I've
you're
been
in
in
there.
town the same length of time as you.
Yes, but you're in that kind of business.
Where'd Ivan get to?
He's not.
We know
he's not in
Gaetano
the tavern.
Repetti, whose people are involved in this and are betraying him, and might be willing to send some soldiers with us.
Yeah, that's true. I keep thinking Repetti's area is really a long, long way away.
It's not that far.
Yeah, the other gladiators, unfortunately, I don't know enough about. The only one I would trust to invite along to this party is Ivan,
And he's not around.
and he's not around. If Ivan turns out to be the Magister, then yeah, I think we may just have to turn over
No,
to Flames of Power.
no. The Magister is far shorter than Ivan.
Yeah. Repetti?
Majesty and Sophia.
The Magister is wider than Repetti.
Okay. No, I was talking to
So it's not
Brunhilde.
Maestro. You got me saying it, it's Maestro.
Yeah, Maestro. Repetti then?
That was it, yeah.
I know darn well we're not prepared for this.
Well, we're not, no.
Okay, so you're going to make your way off to Repetti's.
In terms of like, is Repetti's kind of on the way?
Pretty much, actually, yes.
Because it's in the Tillian Quarter, this house,
Yes.
isn't it? So we can
Right.
go, whilst we're going in that direction, we can stop off at Repetti's and still be in the right way.
Right.
Right, okay.
I need to take a brief comfort break, so before we switch scene, I will do that. I'll be back in a moment. Guys in chat, if you've got any questions, feel free to throw them at the players, and if they can't answer them, I will when I get back.
Okay.
What about guys in chat? Guys in stream might have a question. Why the hell are we doing this?
I can't think of anything else to do.
I can only assume that this is not going according to Matt's original plan.
Well, in all likelihood, Sophia's already been moved because Maestro got out way before we'd finished with it.
She's already been moved from the
We've
original
already
holding
found
cell.
out she'd been moved because we went to where she was and she
Oh,
wasn't
you went
there.
there. Sorry, I didn't know
Now,
you went there.
Yeah.
now we're going to another unreliable location provided by a turncoat murderous scumbag.
Mm.
I'm about to rush with you guys into a dangerous situation with 0 wounds. And if I take a
Yeah.
single hit,
Well, I mean, what else
Every
are we
single
gonna do
blow
in that gap
is
year?
a difficult. We're in,
Yeah.
we are in. Despite having just left the sewers, we are galloping up Diarrhea Drive without a
We
saddle.
are in trouble.
We've got a stick. It's a bit charred, but we have got the stick.
Huh.
It's completely out of character, and there's no way that we can actually do it. But our best bet is to just accept that Sophia is dead. Rest up, re-equip, prep properly, and then go.
Yeah.
yeah, it's so unfortunate that the way that the characters would react results in such an awful situation.
I think getting Repetti is probably our only hope of not dying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I know I've been doing the whole, we've got to go, we've got to do this. Unfortunately, that's Lenore, who
Yeah.
works best when there is something in front of her to hit.
Zen is just, he's got a bit of a bloodlust at the moment where it's just, he wants vengeance. And that's blinding him a bit.
Right, so
Smidge.
And
Let's change the
Erdith
music
has
and head
seen
us off to Repetti's.
in our
Yeah.
last battle, very much does not want to die.
Rapetti might also have a healer on staff.
Indeed. However, as much as that works again from a game standpoint, I have been thoroughly convinced by another healer that although I am at 0 wounds on my character sheet, I have been well tended to.
No, what you've been convinced of is a
Is that
part-time.
neither of you can do anymore?
Yeah. Somebody who's been taught, who's had a 1-day first aid course, has basically looked at your major lacerations and gone, well, yeah, looks alright to me.
Yeah. Basically, once you've hit 0 wounds, nothing is going to do you any good unless they are a full physician. Surgery and
Yeah.
magic are the only 2 things that will help you at that stage. There was never any chance of Ludovica being any use.
Why did I suddenly think we were listening to the
I
last
didn't
post?
say anything because in character, Brunhilde doesn't know that. But
Yeah.
Oh, indeed.
I didn't know that out of character. Then I don't own the rulebook.
if you are below 2 wounds, I believe it is. So if you're at 1 or 0. Then you require surgery or magic before you're going to get any better. Beyond that, you're only considered lightly wounded, and you can be healed by a much wider variety of things like first aid.
Okay.
Right. Off to Repetti's place, which hence the change of music.
Okay.
Who's knocking on the door? Given there's 5 of you.
Be the fourth one.
And in fact, Leonard is not even heavily wounded. He's severely wounded. Because heavy is when you're at less than 2 wounds but haven't taken a critical yet. Not Leonard. Erdith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Banging quite loudly on the door.
I'm sorry. Heavy is when you're not at 0 yet.
Yeah, heavily wounded is if you have 0 or 1 wound but no criticals.
Oh no, I've taken a crit.
Yeah, you take, yeah.
Yeah, severely wounded is when you've taken a critical.
So, a slightly sleepy member of Repetti's staff opens the door to you. It's a bit loud. Let me turn that down a fraction.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a much better volume. Apologies for that.
With a kind of vacant 1,000-yard stare. Then she goes, "We need to see Rapetti now."
And why would this be?
We have
You're
some
the
information
people
that will
that-
be of immediate and vital importance.
Rapetti will
see
want to
you
be
on.
awoken for this.
Then tell me what it is and I will wake him.
Okay. Rapetti is being betrayed from within his own organisation.
I'll go and
Go
wake
and
him.
get him.
Thank you. At least someone's being sensible. And this
Sorry,
person
somebody
heads
just
off.
accused Lenore of being sensible.
Funnily enough, yes.
In this situation of all times.
Yeah. Of all the people.
And
Captain Charge!
a few minutes later, Rapetti is sort of speeding down the stairs, still wearing his night gear. I'm being betrayed from within my organisation.
We best talk about this.
Giuseppe
Come
Di
inside.
Stefano, Flavio Marchesi, who was the other one? One of them's wife. Was it Flavio's?
Gianna, yes. Gianna is Flavio's wife.
Yeah.
Come inside, tell me more.
Nigel. They're working for somebody calling them that they know only as the Maestro, who is behind the kidnapping and demon summoning that's going on in town.
The kidnappings of the pit fighters?
Yeah, mate. And the innkeeper's daughter from the Grey Lord. That Anna Maria girl, she was working with him, I don't know.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh.
So anyway, Anna Maria's not an issue anymore, nor is Flavio, nor is the missus. Giuseppe's still around, he's at the Grey Lord. In order to get information out of him, or is he with us? No, he's not. We left him.
No, we left him behind. I didn't want to bring
In
him
order to
here.
get information out of him as to what were going on, we promised him that we wouldn't kill him. Didn't say out about what you'd do, obviously. Thing is, see, we got some information now as to where Sophia might be. That's the daughter of Ezio Greylaw. And we were going to go and see whether we could, sort things out a bit and get her back, right? And we thought, given as our all of the people that we found yet working for Maestro are members of your organisation, you might feel that you wanted to look into it yourself and maybe have some of your folk ensure that everything's done and dusted and it's not happening anymore. Plus, to be honest, they nearly killed us last time we met them, and it would be nice to have somebody who can actually fight on our stand, besides her, obviously. Lanky over there. She did all right.
Who do you know from my organisation that we can trust?
Ah, you see, now that's tricky. We only know who you can't.
I would have assumed that any friends of the deceased, probably shady.
Well, that's the problem with how we work. We're all friends. Makes the betrayal just that much more of a bitter pill to swallow.
I mean,
Right.
we're obviously very sorry to bring you this kind of very unpleasant and unfortunate news, but on the other hand, we thought you'd rather know.
And of course, if you do want to, what's the word?
While you're
Check up
thinking,
on us, you can go and speak to Giuseppe at the Grey Lord.
while you're thinking of who might be more trustworthy than not within your organisation, don't suppose you happen to have a doctor on staff?
A physician would be useful.
I do
Just
have,
while we're thinking, multitasking.
given the nature of my business, yes, I do have a physician on staff, as you say.
Yes. These two, rather got it handed to them.
Yes, I thought I'd managed it fine, but I appear to be bleeding through this cloth here.
Well, if you don't mind leaving your friends for a moment or two, go upstairs, third door on the left, knock 3 times, and tell them that I sent you.
What I will say is, thank you very much, but what we will say is the ones I've been most wary of are those that have managed to go away for a bit or be left to their own devices for a while. Anyone that you've kept eyes on in here, in your staff, all the while, they should be safe, because they're sneaking off away to do this, and they're doing it outside of what they're doing for you. So anyone with, side loyalties, maybe being a bit too long on the street when they should have been back where you told them to be, they'll be the first to be suspicious.
I'll be honest with you. I would love to help you. But from what you've told me, I don't think I can trust anyone at this time. And I would not want to put you in a situation where you are with trusted people who then betray you.
Right.
However,
Right.
last time you came here, she wasn't with you. He points at Ludovica.
No, she's been staying at the inn.
Ah, no.
Seems like
this
she's making
is,
herself useful.
Someone we met.
Yes.
Then, as someone who is not a part of my organisation, I can tell you that you can trust her.
Oh, that's handy, because I wasn't sure.
Necessity makes strange bedfellows and all that. Okay, you two go and get yourselves sorted out.
Oh, yes, while this was going on, I will have already descended up the stairs to go and...
Yeah.
Ludovica looks a little bit frustrated that she's been identified as not being a part of his organisation. Almost like she's been doxed in some way. Which is odd because it's a negative, but...
I think the important word there was his.
Yes. Very much so. Okay. Will tell you that according to our conversation with Giuseppe, his initial assumption, I don't know whether this was a common one, was that all these activities were going to be part of your bailiwick, branching out.
Then his assumption was wrong.
He seems to have been recruited on the premise that this was some sort of a secret operation taking place at your behest.
Which tells me that the chances are my operation is very heavily infested.
Quite possibly, aye.
Right.
So I thank you for bringing this to me. I clearly have a lot of work to do. Unfortunately, for obvious reasons, I cannot give you anyone that currently I trust, given the information you've given me. Save myself.
Okay.
I would
Right.
happily join you.
Just sent you a message, Fishy, because that was what that's my notes from what Stefano said, and Leonard's not there, so.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
However much you want to divulge about that, but that was the gist.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah. What Giuseppe, wasn't it? What he said, what he told us, was that basically this maestro has been recruiting from your organisation in order to use it to get his information.
Right.
Supposedly, and none of this ever made any sense to me, so take it with a entire barrel of salt. But supposedly, this was all about summoning demons in order to clean up the area and fight crime and make it a nice place to live. Because that's what you do to make somewhere a nice place to live, isn't it? You fill it full of demons.
Yes.
It works fine, I'm sure.
That does
frequently.
at least explain the rumours that I do exactly that.
Yeah, aye, yeah. But
Again,
this would
you have my
imply that at
thanks.
least the top dog is not a part of your organisation, where they wouldn't be needing to rely on other people to get that information.
Have they
Or, of
identified who
course,
this maestro
Giuseppe
is?
could be talking out of his hat. It's not that I don't trust him, but, well, actually, I don't trust him.
No, he's not the most reliable.
Do we have any indication as to who this maestro might be?
Giuseppe
No.
claimed not to know.
Claimed. So he may know.
I'm going to give the physical description I saw in the silhouette.
Okay.
Just
Yeah,
a general
mine-
build.
Sounds not the stereotype of the sort of person that would be demonologist, is that the word? You normally expect them to be thin, frail. He sounds
Eyeglasses.
more robust.
Didn't get on well at school, that sort of thing.
Okay. Well, I would have, as I said, whilst I cannot trust with any of my men or women, I would happily join you. When do we leave?
We were
When
sort of
you're
going
dressed.
out.
Then I shall get dressed and equip myself.
So as soon as he leaves the room. So, our bright band consists of a beggar, a heavily wounded ferret abuser,
Hey,
a woman
I
we
have to
picked up,
say-
no offence, in an inn, and
I
a
have
crime
to say
boss.
that while I don't necessarily trust either the Petty or Ludwika here, I nevertheless have a lot more faith in their capability than I do in either of the beggar or the madman with the ferrets.
also,
the beggar now has a ferret.
That's a low bar.
yes,
That
also
is
as
true. It's the beggar with the ferret or the madman with the ferrets.
I don't think Erdith would ever subject willingly or with intent a ferret to the eternal torture of having to sit upon Leonard's neck for the rest of its life.
And yet,
And yes,
So
yes.
upstairs,
That's the thing with being mad.
you've knocked on the door, and a slightly groggy reply. Yes.
Robin.
Oh God, what was the guy's name? real brain can't remember it.
Repeat it.
I provide his name. So yes, the boss sent me.
Come in.
I'll wander in on and dribble, making a mess of his floor as I he downs over it.
I'll hobble in afterwards.
I've doesn't seem to be stopping bleeding. Bit of an issue, really.
Yes. What happened to you?
Some ruffians in the sewers.
I see.
Perfectly legitimate business, of course.
That will take some time to heal. That's nasty. You weren't planning on doing anything rash for a few days, were you?
Fighting any demon summoners or anything.
Do you think we can patch it up for one more round?
And Mr. Repetti sent you up here. Okay. He must like you. I don't like being
He
woken.
must want you dead. He's encouraging you to go into battle and me to make you believe that you're fit for it.
Let me assess your friend for a moment, and then I'll come back to you. Stay there, don't move, and try and hold your arm a little higher so that it doesn't have blood flowing into it, more sort of away from it. Leonard. He takes one look at you. You've been bandaged already. I take it you've been seen to by someone.
Yeah, but the bandages are only doing so much. I think I've got some inside problems.
Oh yeah.
Of all the things I just expected to come back to, Leonard
we can all
and
agree that Leonard
This
has
where we
some
need a
inside
kind of-
problems.
Hannibal-esque. Hello, Lenore.
Oh,
I've seen what Leonard eats out of his begging bowl.
Same thing that the ferret eats.
Oh, good, good.
I thought you were asking for psychological support for a moment.
For all you know.
that too.
So Leonard can't say that, let alone spell it.
You
Leonard,
wanted
he
a
takes a-
counselling session.
He takes a look at under your bandages. You know, takes the bandages off, takes a look at the wound, pokes
up
and
my-
prods, and it goes out a fair bit. I'm afraid there's nothing more I can do for you. You simply need time to heal. And he redoes your bandages. They're a bit tighter than Ludvika had done, and it feels a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, alright,
Um,
that is better. Thank you, I didn't. What was your name?
You don't need to know my name.
Oh, sorry.
Leave. Now you, my friend. He says, talking to Erdit.
Yeah,
I'll
I've
leave you to it. I'm gonna go downstairs.
doused it in brandy and wrapped it up, but you know, it's the best I can do.
So you rest your arm on the table there. Let's unwrap that thoroughly, see what we can get a good look at this. Oh my word.
Leonard's gonna, as he kind of walking away from this, cut it off.
Oh no, and it doesn't want to be one-handed. I'd have to make a hand out of ferrets.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That's a new version on the Captain Hook shtick.
It's a prosperous hand.
An arm woven out of ferrets, all linked together, clinging on at one end.
See, now that's very Cthulhuid.
Yeah, you grab the tail and the last one at the end squeals and grasps his hand together.
I don't know if it's coincidence that Druck comes up with that idea, having been watching Ninja Scroll this afternoon.
I'm saying nothing.
He goes to a bench on one side of his room and pulls a couple of potions. Uncorks one of them. This is going to sting a bit, so drink this first.
Oh, I shall down it.
while you're downing it, he pours the other one on the wound. For a split second, it hurts like hell, and you damn near choke on the one you're trying to drink. And then you get kind of lightheaded, and things don't kind of hurt so much anymore.
Oh, that's some interesting stuff.
So we're going to go into battle with a grieving beggar and a high elf.
And you can,
And not that type of high elf.
as this potion magically begins to knit the wound back together, you can regain 1 wound point.
No.
Yeah, you see, you're fine.
And
Oh, that's the...
he then bandages it up. Now go and return to your friends.
You reckon it will hold a shield?
Go and return to your friends.
Wander on back. Give him a thanking wave.
Right.
Slightly sort of stagger back as the
Yeah.
room's a little wobbly. It's like being on board a ship.
Oh, fantastic. With a renewed sense of well-being and
But you
vigour.
feel fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm just
The elf
wondering
wish-
whether it would be acceptable to spend some more of my XP at this point.
To
In
do
what
what?
context?
I'm just thinking that gaining those extra 2 wounds now might be really useful.
I had a spending plan for my wounds, but I never threw it at anyone. That's fine.
Have you any XPs left? Because now would be a really
Yes,
cool
if you
time.
if you have XPs, spend them now.
Oh, I have 400. I haven't spent them yet.
Yeah.
Spend them.
I've got enough XP to finish my advanced scheme, which, given that my new plan for where Brunhilde might be going career-wise requires me to actually have completed a road career, is awfully tempting.
What are you thinking of for Brunhilde now?
I'm now considering, it would cost me 200 XP.
Yeah.
I'm now considering swapping to Initiate. I would need to find someone to teach me first, of course. But that would require me to complete a rogue career, because that's the requirement before you can become an Initiate of Ranels.
Oh.
Ah.
The way that works, you have to alternate careers.
Yeah.
You complete a rogue career, then you become an Initiate. Normally when you complete Initiate, you can become a Cleric level 1. For Ranel,
Yeah.
you have to become another rogue career.
He is
Complete
the god of
that, you
thieves,
can
isn't he?
become Cleric
Yeah.
1. And in between each level of Cleric, you have to complete another rogue career.
Yeah.
And I'm seriously, after what she's been through here today, I'm seriously thinking that Initiate of Ranald might be a plan.
Keep
I
the
don't
faith.
know how to apply these updates to my character sheet, by the way. They're just in a notepad at the moment.
Yep, that's fine. Notepad is fine.
So Repetti's there, I'm assuming, or
Repetti, when you return downstairs, Repetti is not there.
right.
Everyone else is, but Repetti is not.
We're waiting for Repetti to get dressed. We'll actually tell him that.
As Edith comes down the stairs and returns to the party, he seems renewed and full of vigor,
And
despite
slightly
being a
wobbly.
little wobbly. Right, guys, we've got this. We're gonna
Pupils
take
slightly
him down.
dilated.
As I said as I was coming down the stairs, the elf's pissed.
Yes, as Erdit comes down in 3 or 4 hours' time.
Or possibly head first.
So go on then, Edith, show us your muscles, give us a flex.
I shall make some mock sword swings.
Nice one, Chrono.
I'll roll a let's see how well I do with my mock sword swings.
Really good.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep, you're ready to
You've
fight,
got
definitely.
competition there.
So-
Huzzah, I've wasted a crit.
Takes about 10... no, criticals in this are done on the damage roll, not on the D100
Yeah.
roll.
Oh, okay.
So
Thank
you need to
goodness.
roll a
And it-
6 on your damage to get the crit, and then you
Yeah.
get a second attack roll to confirm the crit.
Oh,
If
thank
there
you.
was a critical to hit roll system, it would also be based on rolling doubles rather than rolling particularly low. So a double below your weapon skill, it would be a critical hit. A double above is
It'd be a critical failure.
That critical fail is fortunately an optional rule that Knight doesn't appear to be using.
No.
Because we would be
Thank you.
definitely back in the sewer if that were the case.
Now,
Absolutely. I'm not worried about critical failures. Whilst this is a dark setting, I think at the moment there is sufficient darkness without going to the critical fumble route.
Without
Especially
needing-
given this group's reputation for shit rolling.
Yep.
stupid question that I'm guessing the answer is no to. Or,
Okay.
Right? Purchasing +1 wound, I'm presuming does not provide you +1 current wounds, just +1 maximum wounds.
Yeah,
Yes.
+1 maximum. If you were at maximum,
I
then
would assume probably maximum, but
yeah.
I'll see if I can find anything to confirm one way or another.
Okay.
But
My
you carry
gut
on
is
with it.
it's maximum that then has to be healed up
Yeah.
to. Or rested up to if you're... So, it takes about 10-15 minutes for Rapetti to come downstairs in fairly well cut, more combat suitable clothing. He's got a sword at his belt. Looks like some fairly subtle, if not particularly strong, armour underneath his top.
Jesus Christ, Rebecca, you know, go up nice.
I know some good tailors.
I should probably grab the stats for that sword from you.
Swords don't have a stat per se.
they
A
don't.
generic sword doesn't have a damage bonus.
No.
Things that are bigger than a sword or a standard hand weapon get bonuses and stuff like Drut's two-hander, or some daggers have a damage reduction and such. But a
Yeah.
regular sword is the base damage.
Basically just a knife without this -2.
Yeah.
Yeah, largely.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
What is a sword but a very big knife?
Or a very narrow club.
One that I've already mastered the balance on, apparently, according to that roll.
Yes.
Right then, shall we get to this house?
Do you have a plan?
Absolutely, we're going to go in
Have
there
we
and we're going
ever?
to beat them.
Right. We have this location.
Yes.
We have no idea if the location is trapped. We don't know how many people. Yes.
Very good way of putting it.
Yeah, we haven't yet discovered the environment they are optimized for, but there must be one out there somewhere.
Well, apparently it's the sewer, based on the amount of time we spend there.
I told you Leonard's given a good influence.
It seems likely that we have disposed of a goodly chunk of their forces.
When you say goodly chunk, how many have you disposed of?
Killed 4, 1 fled, 1 currently held in the bar, and the maestro got away.
I must have taken at least 3.
What did they give
Close to
you?
the head.
Okay.
The kidnap party that accosted Ivan was, what, 4 people?
Yeah, 2 men, 2 women,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
And am I right in thinking that the person who was chasing Erdith and made the spectacularly poor life choice was a woman?
You are not
Oh.
correct in that, no.
Oh no, of course.
That was
Yeah.
that was Flavio.
That was Flavio. Okay, right. So, we've killed 4.
Was the one who got away with it.
Flavio was the one that got away, yeah. Flavio got away, you captured Di Stefano.
We captured Di Stefano's, that's 5. We've got 1 in the wind, and we've got the maestro causing trouble and probably about to rip out Sophia's eyes.
All good. What could
Yeah.
possibly go wrong?
But it does mean that I think we're going to be facing fewer people than otherwise expected. The one that worries me is they completed a sacrifice and therefore may well have had access to a demon.
Well, that sounds promising. When do we move?
Now
Lead on.
we've got the map and the route. Brunhilde. He marked the map. Yes, he marked the
One
map.
of you two has. He gave you the map and pointed where it was.
At no point has Brunhilde ever had the map.
I think it is you, possibly, Lenore, that has the map.
Okay. Right, I would give it to Brunhilde, but that seems kind of tricky.
Yeah, I mean, here we were moving through the sewers, concerned that we might get ambushed at any moment.
Yeah.
So we'll give the one-handed person the map. That'll be a plan. She won't need a weapon. It'll be fine.
Look, I'm most comfortable in the sewers. Are we taking the sewer route or up top?
Okay, I will, against my better judgment, give Leonard the map.
Well, given that the
That's
map
where
that you
we are.
have to the location is in the sewers,
Yeah, that's where we are.
Yep.
That's where
and
we're
again
going.
goes
That's-
off-grid as far as known sewer areas go.
Yep. Right. You ready to go diving, folks?
Yes.
Leonard, by this point, has got a bit of a new resolve, so he's champing at the bit.
So, can I have a party order, please?
Leonard, will you go up front?
Yeah.
He's leading the way.
I'd like a large brandy.
And if you want to include where you're placing both Ludovica and Rapetti in the party order, as you head through the sewers.
Right.
I shall, unless anyone intervenes, be right behind Leonard, ready for the fray.
Ready to run like hell.
I'm not going to allow you to be right behind Leonard because you're bollocks. Is the technical term. I would suggest that I go right behind Leonard so that I can, if need be, thrust him to one side and actually have a fight.
Okay, so Lenore behind Leonard. Who's up front, did you say?
Currently Leonard.
Leonard.
Okay, where's Brunhilde going?
In middle.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
The Arnold Rimmer tactic.
Absolutely.
And what about Rapetti and... In fact, where's Erdit going? At the moment, Erdit's right at the back. But you still got Rapetti and Ludovica.
Yeah.
Leonard.
Just preparing
Lenore.
for combat. You turn round to see that suddenly he is just a mass of ferrets swarming all over his body and protecting him, providing ferret-level armor and all from all attacks.
Armor level
am I-
ferret.
Am I the only one getting necromonger? Not necromonger. Ah! What the brain wasters have grown up into.
Neck and throat.
Neck and throat. That's the one. Gore cannon. Little ferrety gore cannon.
Ferret cannon, yes.
Right, so
Okay.
Leonard, Lenore,
Brilliant.
Brunhilde,
So currently it's Leonard, Lenore, Brunhilde and Erdit.
Rapetti.
Rapetti.
So Rapetti's going where? After
I
Erdit.
would- I think Erdit should go at the back because Erdit is incredibly badly wounded.
Okay.
So when we get ambushed, Erdit dies first. That's the plan.
Then I reckon it should be like next in line from Erdit should be Ludvico because she got some basic first aid.
Then
There
Rapetti.
is so much to be said for
Then
Ludwika being at
Rapetti.
the front, since she's probably the sneakiest bugger here.
Okay, person with map
Sure.
does not need to go at the front. Leonard,
Yep.
not at the front.
Okay. I'm not setting my stick on fire again.
Ludwig, it's entirely your choice, mate. Ludwika at the front because you're right. She looks like the one who's going to be sneakiest. Plus, I quite like her under my eyes. Ludwika, Lenore, Brunhilde, Rapetti, Leonard, Erdit.
It's the weirdest roundup for breakfast this morning I've ever heard.
Mornington Crescent.
So Ludwika, Lenore, Brunhilde, Rapetti, Leonard and Erdit.
Yes, please God write that down because I'm
I
not.
have done. That's
Okay,
why I
good.
was... That's why I was asking. So...
Leonard will be leading from the rear.
Yeah.
Where he might smell like it.
God.
Yeah, but Leonard can basically follow our. He can give us directions from anywhere. He doesn't need to.
I suppose also Leonard's also got the crossbow. So.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to get the crossbow and load it. So. I thought Leonard got the crossbow.
Yes,
From
he has.
Ezio.
Leonard does have the crossbow from Ezio, along with 12 bolts for it.
Yeah.
So I will load a bolt. But it takes a turn to load, so I'll have one ready to go.
Yep.
I will load my sling, feeling unjustifiably optimistic about my ability to hit anything with it. I'm better now. I've got 38% chance of hitting with it now.
That's not terrible.
I shall draw Lenore's sword, confident and ready.
That's only just under 50-50.
So,
The interesting one is my weapon skill, which is now 33. So when I get into a fight, I will be able to demonstrate once and for all that maths mean nothing by steadfastly missing instead of hitting one in every 3.
Yeah, that's true.
As opposed to 1 in every 4 as it was.
Yeah.
Which you still didn't do.
You've got to give him a fighting chance.
Just as a note, just make this all clear, Leonard has a 32% chance to hit with this crossbow.
That's still among the best in the party.
That's better than I had until I just spent money on experience points on that advance.
So you head down into the sewers. And you follow the route to this entry that Stefano told you about. And it is a door with a handle and a key lock.
He didn't know how it opened.
Does this one...
If you have any XP, Jack, can I just point out that if you've got 100 XP, you've also got a plus 10 ballistic skill available from your advanced scheme as a beggar. If you've got the XP, for God's sake, spend it.
Okay, alright, I'll spend it.
Because it's better to spend it now and not die than die because you didn't spend it and then not have it.
Alright. I've got 200 left. I'll go for the 2 more wounds that I can get.
That sounds glamorous as well, doesn't it?
There we go.
Yes.
I couldn't find anything about wounds either way in the book. But it occurs to me, like, that the sensible way to do it is actually to give people the wound straight away when they take the advance, but not affect their current wound level. So if you were severely wounded and you gain 2 wounds, you're still severely wounded. You've just got a couple of wounds before you take any more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because healing and so forth isn't based on number of wounds, it's based on whether you're severely wounded. So it makes sense just to split the difference that way.
Yeah. Okay, sounds fair.
Yep.
So I'm now severely and not critically wounded, right?
Yes, effectively.
Well, if you've just been healed from severely wounded, logically you will be either heavily or lightly wounded, depending on what the healing is.
Yes, you were critically, you were healed too heavily, so you're now lightly.
No, you see, it's all good. You thought we were in trouble.
Lightly
Yeah, we
wounded
got...
characters will heal without in time will heal without further treatment.
Yeah.
If you're heavily or severely wounded, you will not heal at all without medical attention. So it is quite, medical attention is important in this game.
Yes, very much so.
Right. Who's holding a torch?
You, I hope.
I'm
more
not
likely Erdit.
Brunhilde and Leonard have no free hands. Neither of them can hold a
Erdit
torch.
then.
I have a sword and shield.
If you
You
need
can hold
either of
it
them
in your
to,
thing.
They have free
both
hands,
Rapetti
I
and
suppose.
Ludvika are happy to carry a torch.
You can
Can I
hold
see-
a torch
Suppose if
in your
Brunhilde
shield
snapped to
hand.
his,
Yes,
arm,
of course.
The door, does it have a similar... I can't remember what they're called now. The sliding thing for the eyes.
No.
Correct,
So it's a more plain door, but it still has a lock.
No, this is a door that is similar to the 2 doors that the Stefano took both Lenore and Brunhilde through earlier this evening.
This is not the final destination door. This is a somewhere along the way door, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You think?
All I could think of was it is the scary door.
If it follows the pattern of the other areas, there will be an amount of corridor the other side of the door before you get to the final destination.
And the door will
Okay.
be trapped to buggery.
Yes. I'm going to tell Ludvika that and explain the way that the previous 2 doors that we encountered were apparently trapped.
Interesting. Do you have the keys that you were talking about?
We have the keys because
May
we
I?
took them off him.
Leonard has the keys.
Yes.
May
No,
I?
Leonard doesn't have the keys. Okay, yes.
If Leonard had the keys, then we never got to this stage.
No.
Leonard would,
Yeah.
of course, have given them quite freely to Lenore.
Prior
Yes,
to.
that sounds very sensible.
Okay, so Ludvika heads up to the door and sort of taps it and starts looking for mechanisms and stuff and looking for anything that might be. She spends a fair amount of time in studying this door.
Uh-huh. Everybody stay back.
And having listened to what you said, she turns the key to the left, lifts up the handle. You hear the customary clicks that you
dies
heard
horribly.
before. Opens the door. There is a rush of gas, and she falls backwards.
Yeah, she didn't do that one. I shall catch her because I'm behind her.
Okay, as you
Can't go without breathing.
I will throw my effluent induced rag over my mouth and the mouth of my ferret.
Oh! Oh.
And you thought I was bad to him.
Don't breathe it shortly.
As you catch her, you can see that embedded pretty much squarely in the centre of her chest is a fairly heavy-looking dart.
No, ripping that out.
That sort of
Yeah,
puff of gas, right.
yes. Yes, pulling that one straight out.
Okay, and doing what with it?
Less concerned with what I'm doing with the darts, more concerned with what what damage it's done to Ludvika.
She looks a
Very
bit
well,
shocked.
Ludvika. And muttering, "You have been a great disappointment to me."
She's cursing quite heavily.
Yeah, basically, on the assumption it might be poisoned, I'm just getting it out of her as fast as possible.
Thank you.
In terms of where we're standing, is this obviously like beyond the sewers? But is it damp still on the ground, or?
Not particular. Sorry, you're. This is effectively the door that would lead from the sewers into a drier area. So you're still in the sewers at the moment.
Right, so it's still quite damp.
Oh yeah.
Oh, just stick it in a puddle. Stick the dart in a puddle.
Sorry, stick what in the puddle?
The dart, stick it in the
dart.
puddle.
Why?
He wants to poison fish.
Okay.
Sewer fish.
Okay, that's fine for me for now.
Right, so the dart is now in a puddle.
Yep.
Put dart in puddle.
I'm rubbing
Use dart
everything on.
in puddle.
I'm rubbing everything on everything. What am I thinking?
Doesn't do anything.
Okay, so this door is different from the one you described because the first door you talked about was left and up.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. That didn't work so well.
Are you with us, Ludvika?
Still with you.
Do you need
Right.
something to wake you up a bit?
Let's keep moving. We're against the clock.
Yes. There were tripwires used at least once, so that's something else to look forward to.
Watch out for that.
She gets to the first corner, using a torch to look around, and within a few meters of turning the corner, she says, "Stop! You were right. There's a tripwire." She points it out to you so that everyone can happily step over it.
As we're going through this, can I have a look for any form of like secret signs, specifically thief signs, see if there's like any kind
There are no markings on the walls at all.
That's fine. Thank you.
Actually,
we
we're back down in the sewers. I need to change the sounds again.
Yeah.
I didn't change the sounds. Let's get back to the sewer sounds, please.
As we go by the puddle, by the way, I'm going to dip the tip of the bolt in the puddle.
Uh-huh.
Goodness, guys, we are so good at this. Look at that, normal group of people, tripped straight over that, probably killed them. Us, oh, we're so good.
So,
You're cuddling your cat as your emotional support
yes,
animal
Mr.
now.
Bond,
Like
I
that,
expect
yeah.
you to die.
See, that's
No, Mr.
exactly
Bugger,
what
I
Leonard
expect
and
you to
Shortley would be doing if he didn't have a crossbow.
Oh.
The corridor heads on a few more twists and turns. Ludovica doesn't spot any further tripwires, and it ends up in another door. She leans up against the
Whichever way
wall.
you did it last time.
Do it the same way again.
Hang on. Whichever way you did it last time,
Yeah.
do it again.
Yes.
Could be a double bluff.
Because on previous doors that we went through, the first door needed the opposite direction to the door after. So if that's same here, then the one that was wrong last time will be right this time.
That makes sound sense.
Or that's totally meaningless, and it was just coincidence.
So she does exactly the same as she did last time. Turns the key to the left, lifts the handle up. You hear the clunks, no whoosh of gas.
Well, that's a plus.
And she pushes the door open. The room is...
Gobbos.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was a Xena impression.
No, I haven't got a chakra.
She
The room
pushes
is-
the door open. No darts are fired out at her. She turns around and says, "Good call, Brunhilde, that was right." And then a large block of stone falls from the ceiling and squashes her back.
She pushes the door open. You can see the room is dark but lit with sort of faintly blue, purplish glowing candles.
It's not like the sacrificial room that Matilda is
It's very much like the sacrificial room that Matilda was in, yes.
in. Okay, Leonard's going to be on edge.
So, foggy.
There is also a certain amount of... bugger it.
Really?
Push the wrong button.
Ah, oh god.
Ah, yes, there we go.
It's a foggy day in London town.
It is a foggy day down in the sacrificial chamber.
I say the first thing we do is cut off these bastards' supply of dry ice. This is like being in an 80s Kiss concert.
The situation is a little different than last time.
Oh, good.
In that the sacrificial victim, as you assume they might be, isn't chained out on the altar, but is instead kneeling on it. And facing a largest, chunkiest chap who's wearing a mask and robes. Between you and the altar is the guy that Erdit faced and ran away from.
Right.
The guy at the altar is chanting, and if it wasn't for the fact that there was a mist and the lights being distorted by the mist, you could swear there was some kind of energy and light flowing between him and the girl on the altar.
Oh, we're not having that.
Oh, what girl?
So the
He
figure
appears
on
to be
the
mumbling
kneeling-
something.
Right.
The figure
How-
on the kneeling, is that a fully grown adult?
No.
It is
Right.
presumably-
How wide is this doorway?
The doorway is average doorway sized.
Right.
Sorry.
Has Ludovica stepped in far enough that I can get past her?
Ludwika steps in and then falls to the floor.
Well, fuck.
Okay,
Fingers crossed that was down to her having got shot earlier.
we need to test this. I shall...
Oh god, he's going to throw a ferret.
well done.
That's his go-to move. We know this to be the case.
Are you
That's what
gonna?
he did last time.
I reckon you need a ferret with a yellow harness and call it Canary.
The issue is, that if I name it, I'll care about it.
There's some funny people in this party.
Okay,
This is just
Adult
health and
ferret
safety testing
into
ferret
fog.
number 2.
You're throwing. Okay. Throw your weapon skill. Oh, sorry, ballistic skill.
Okay.
I seem to recall you've got a fairly good either ballistics or weapon. I'm not sure which. Oh, it's the weapon skill because you've got a good sword.
Yeah, they're both pretty good, to be honest.
Health should have pretty good on both of them.
Yes.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Okay,
That's a
you
pass.
launch your ferret into the room, and it hits the ground at a scamper.
Okay.
I take it we're going into straight into combat rounds at this point, with
Yep.
Erdit having led the charge. So Brunhilde's next up.
Don't have a line of fire from here, do I? There's people in the way.
Give it a minute.
You can hold your action.
Yeah.
Because I mean, actually no. If Lenore has stepped through the door as she said and steps aside slightly, then yes, you do because you're third in
Lenore
line.
has not moved.
Lenore's
Lenore
not
asked if Ludvika had moved enough for me
In
to
that
get
case, yeah,
past.
Lenore's currently in your way,
Hold
but you can
action.
hold your action.
Stepping slightly to the left to clear more space to my right, which is also, of course, where my sling is now whirring gently.
Yep.
And holding my action to fire when there's an open space.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
So Lenore, you're up.
Right. Where is the guy that Erdit was chased by?
He is literally standing between the door and the dais.
Right. Is he facing them or facing us?
Oh, he's facing you.
okay.
It's almost like he knew you were coming.
Good. Good. Is he visibly armed?
Yep. He has a sword in one hand and a smaller blade in the other.
Which hand does he have the sword in?
Sword is in his right.
So that's my left as I look at it. Right.
Your left as you look at him.
Okay. I am going to make use of is it charge?
Mm-hmm.
I believe my character sheet is now behind the photo. Give me a sec.
The charge gives you, I think, +10 to your attack.
Yeah.
Charge is indeed a bonus to attack. It's another one of those games where apparently it's easier to swing a sword if you're moving quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're running directly at your opponent.
Yep. Right. My aim in this context is to basically barrel into him.
Okay.
I am attempting to body check him with this charge.
Okay.
Because I have no interest in him. People behind me can deal with him. My interest is in Chunky McDeadface over there. Who is badly, badly begging to be beaten to within an inch of his life. And it really annoyed me. So, attack roll?
Weapon skill,
Weapon
yep.
skill? Weapon skill. So that's at +10. Yeah, see, I can even remember on occasion. Oh, for the love of feck. Oh, hang on. Why did that add... No. I should have gone -10. That would have applied the thing in the right direction.
Although on
And
this
because
occasion, I
would
don't
still
think
have
it makes a
missed.
difference.
No. I've got 59. So I needed 69 or less. Okay, so that didn't fucking work. Where does that leave
Yeah.
me?
That leaves you, basically, you try and barge and body check him out the way.
Yeah.
He just puts his sword out, braces his sword, and you stop at him.
Okay.
But from where you are, you can see a clearer view of what's going on behind.
Right.
And there is indeed something going on. There's some sort of weird coloured smoke distinctly between Sophia and the maestro.
Yeah. I take it I have no more movement. If I use my charge, I take it that burns all my movement.
Correct.
As well as my action. Okay. In that case, I'll hold off until next round.
The Maestro breaks his chant. Not necessarily his focus on Sophia, but his chant. Take her place, Lenore. You could join me.
Tempting. And yet.
I'm sorry, but what I can think of is the monks from Monty Python. Sorry. That's
I
completely
tell you
tangential.
I tell you what, I badly want the holy hand grenade at this stage.
But do any of us have enough intelligence to count to 3?
I say, do not give it to Leonard.
That's why it's a specialist weapon skill, you see. That's how to learn to count to 3 and not 5.
Yes. 5 is right out.
So, Brunhilde. Lenore has charged slam straight into Flavio. You have a line of sight into the melee that is Lenore and Flavio.
Yeah.
Or a blocked line of sight through Lenore and Flavio and Sophia into the Maestro.
Yeah. Basically, I'm not doing anything because I still don't have a shot.
If Lenore's plan had worked, you'd have a great line of sight on Flavio, but unfortunately it didn't pan out that way. Do you still wish to hold your action further? Because you can hold it right until the end of the round.
Yeah, I mean, I was holding until I get a line of sight. If one comes up later in the round, I'll take it. But I don't think one's going to.
Okay. Ludwika is currently spark out. Rapetti looked like he was going to charge in, but stops to attend to Ludwika. Goes through the door and turns left effectively. Which leaves Leonard.
I'm in a bit of a dilemma because there's the smart thing to do, and there's what Leonard would do.
Well, it's a role-playing game. What are the chances of Leonard doing the smart thing versus the gut thing? If in doubt, you could always just do a self-imposed willpower check or cool check.
That's what I was going to ask, because I think that's what it's going to come down to.
If you want to use that as the mechanism, go for it.
Thank you. Right. This could end poorly.
Yeah.
That's good.
This could, yes.
Right.
So from that roll, I'm guessing not the sensible thing's about to happen.
Not
Yes.
the smart thing, yeah.
Leonard is going to take best aim as he can, as much as there's obstruction, at Maestro,
And shoot Lenore in the back.
and shoot the crossbow.
Aiming at who precisely?
Aiming at Maestro.
Okay.
Because as much as it's all blurry and that, I mean, so there's going to be penalties, I know, it's just, that's what the gut he would do. He's the source of the problem. Go for him.
Okay.
I just think he's going to shoot Sophia.
Well, there's 4 people in line that could hit this if he really messes it up.
So right, you're good at shooting things, right, Leonard?
Yeah. Best case scenario, if he misses, he hits Flavio. Otherwise, he could hit you, or he could hit Sophia.
Yeah. Again, this is the... You've presented him with the same, like a similar sacrificial slab as to what drove him insane twice.
Yep.
Or added 2 insanity points. So that's why I wanted some kind of check, because it's the, would he do the dumb thing?
Roll
Right.
it.
Oh!
Oh, for God's sake, Leonard. Well done.
Right, Leonard.
Yes.
You've missed the guy you shot at. There are 3 possible targets you could hit. I'm going to ask you to roll a d6. On a 1 or 2, you hit Sophia. On a 3 or 4, not hit. You've got a chance of hitting. On a 3 or 4, you might hit Flavio. On a 5 or 6, you might hit Drut.
Right.
But whichever one of those it is, I am going to ask for another attack roll. And I'm going to let you pray that it misses.
Okay. Oh.
Okay. Roll your ballistic skill because you might have hit Sophia.
Yes, I'm bad.
Okay. You successfully missed Sophia.
Doink.
One of those rare occasions where you aim to fail.
Yes.
Yeah.
And with one of the best ballistic skills in the group, you probably had the best chance of not failing. So,
God.
that crossbow bolt whizzes past everyone's ear and clanks off the back wall.
Nearly had him.
Erdit,
Yes.
your ferret is
uh,
now scampering off towards Flavio. And I will give it an attack. While your ferret is attacking, what are you doing?
Flavio's the guy who got away, right?
Flavio
Mhm.
is the guy that got away, yes.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
guy who's apparently got really skinny since he chased you.
Yeah, I mean, he must have gone on a diet or something. Either way, I need to deal with the fact that he got away from the might of Edith Corral. So, I'm going to charge him.
Go on then.
Okay, that is just a splat weapon skill, right?
Yep,
That is a hit.
that is a hit. Congratulations.
So then it's a d6.
It is a
determine
d6
location,
damage.
right?
And the location is done on the reverse of the dice. So you got 64,
Oh, okay.
which is... I've got to find the page now. I was looking up something else a second ago. 64, which is... I can't count. There we go. Body. You've hit him in the body.
Fantastic. For 5.
5 plus your strength.
Oh, plus my strength is 4.
Yep.
So 9.
Drut.
Yo.
This guy that's blocked your charge. You hear the swoosh of Erdit's sword.
Right.
You hear the distinct wince as it cuts
Right.
into the guy.
Excellent. I have literally no interest in this guy. He is irrelevant to me if he's not actively trying to stick something into my skull.
He's not down, but before we get to you, I'm just giving you the what's happened. You're right next to him. Brunhilde goes first, but you are now effectively stood side by side with Erdit against this guy.
Okay. That's cool.
And you've heard the swish of the sword. It's missed you. It's hit him, and the guy
Yay.
has winced quite heavily in pain.
Yay.
Brunhilde,
That makes me happy.
This
You
is a good blade.
you can from your position, you can see not only does Flavio have Erdit on his left, Erdit on his right, Brunhilde on his left. Also has a ferret on his calf muscle. Between the three of them, they're
Ferrets again.
fairly heavily obscuring your view of him,
Yeah.
and there's not a lot you can see of the maestro behind. But you are able to move because there's no one else immediately that's going to stop you.
If I can nearly hit him, Brunhilde, you could. I believe in you.
Oh god.
I no longer have anything remotely like the chance of hitting him that you had. Because now there's an Erdit in the way as well.
Yeah.
Even more people you could accidentally hit with a stone.
I've got an excellent line of fire against Erdit's back. That's about it.
Aim for Erdit and you are going to one-shot the maestro.
That would be hilarious.
Also, your camera really doesn't like focusing on you that close.
Yeah, I know.
Out to you too.
I think I'm just skipping my action this round. I really can't see anything useful she can do.
Any chance of manoeuvring for a position in the room or something?
The room's fairly big. You could quite happily manoeuvre for position. It's similar sort of size to the previous room, so there's room to move around the dais.
Yeah, I suppose if you go
The
in
point of having a missile weapon is to not have to run forward into the melee. It's really kind of what they're for.
You don't need to. There are, the edges of the room, edges of the walls, edges of the room.
walls. You get lost in the vertex. Sorry.
Yeah, Brunhilde's staying where she is.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Considering that Leonard let a bolt fly, that's probably not ill-advised to do.
How wide is the dais?
The dais is probably about 6 foot square.
Right. What are my odds of being able to basically vault across the dais rather than running round it without kicking Sophia in the head?
You'll need an athletics check to do exactly that, and you've got a guy beside you that will try and stab you in the process.
Yeah, he can try and stab me in the process. But I need to get myself out of the way because A, I might get shot by Leonard. B, I know I'm blocking Brunhilde's line of sight. And C, Erdith needs to have a fight in his own. Yeah, I'm just thinking of the quickest way to get over that. I do not have any kind of athletic skills, so that would just be a dex check, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Okay, so see as I now faceplant on the dais. Yep. There's a reason I swapped to real dice last game.
So, Drut.
Ah, fair enough, Fish.
That's completely non-mechanical. There's nothing in the game system that says that. It's just knowledge of what a swing actually is that says that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Drut.
Yo.
You shove the guy try to get out of his way, or your way. You try and leap the dais, and through a combination of his attack, which is probably going to miss,
Oh, I wouldn't count on it.
and the fact the dice is raised, the ground's slightly slippery and damp, you
I've
find
tripped over
yourself
that drain at the front, haven't I?
find yourself kneeling on the dais next to Sophia, looking
Hi.
straight up at the you got me doing it now, the maestro.
Yep. Oh well.
You can see his
Situation could be worse.
you can see his hands are glowing. There is a glow emanating from behind his mask, and there is an energy, not just one way, but there's a transfer between him and Sophia.
I'm either just put myself in a
Definitely
really
doing a thing.
I've either just put myself in a really good position or a truly shitty one.
So
I
you
dunno,
volunteer to take her place. You will be a fitting side mate for me.
Oh,
Willpower
right.
check, please.
Like that.
Might
Mate,
be
I'm
correct.
I do not trust those bloody dice. I've never seen so many 80s in my life. Willpower.
Never seen so many 80s since 1980.
Yeah. 40. 40.
What's your willpower?
40.
You've equaled it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made a roll, Fish. Guys, I made a roll.
Sadly not Kikiki. Had she failed the roll, that might be slightly different. But
Oh.
Technically, I've made 3 rolls.
Yeah, we never did establish, or I have not yet established who her dad actually worshipped. Okay.
So Repetti, having briefly checked Ludovica, now charges in on Flavio to assist Erdit. Did I just hear a casket outside someone's house?
Yeah, my house.
Somebody doing donuts in Aldi's car park.
Oh no.
Braver man
That was
than
an airstrike.
me. Hello, Becky.
So, although he does charge in and swing his sword fairly badly in Flavio's direction, he doesn't actually make contact.
Swing and a miss.
Leonard.
Hello.
So, from what you can now see is both Sophia and Lenore on their knees with a strange purple glow around the three of them.
Right. And is Fabio being blocked from the left and the right?
Flavio is both... Yeah, he's flanked left and right.
Okay. Again, I think I've got to put this down to willpower. To see
Okay.
if Nick can do the sensible thing.
The sensible thing versus the gut thing.
Silly thing. Silly thing it is.
And the
In
silly
his
thing is
face.
what?
Leonard is going to run around Fabio probably to his left, thinking about it,
Okay.
and it's effectively going to tackle both Lenore and Sophia, but you're going to dive tackling, so they're off of the dais,
Ew.
and
Okay.
trying to protect Sophia specifically
Don't
as I
screw
land.
up what I'm doing.
Right. So,
And to be clear, I'm dropping the crossbow.
okay, roll it. Weapon skill.
Oh.
Oh, this one comes off.
No.
Oh!
Oh. Oh. Okay, misread that, sorry.
Yeah.
Nothing is in your way. You circle round, you've got good speed to take the pair of them in a diving tackle to sweep them off the dais. But the floor's just a little bit damp. You misstep your takeoff and go sliding behind the pair of them, falling off the dais the other side.
Okay.
Have you got the weeping trombone?
Not to hand, I didn't bring the sound
That
effects with
trombone,
me.
that was it.
It's that sad moment when someone fails a stage dive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they stage dive in the crowd parts.
Yeah, the stage dive and the guy grabbing you, mate.
The method here, or the method to the madness, shall I say, is things on dais end up dead.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I can understand the logic.
Yes.
So, that'd be Leonard done.
Kneeling basically on the dais in that kind of recently landed Iron Man
There we go. A little bit late, but
pose, also known as the runner's start pose. I know what I'm doing next round.
right, Erdit.
Yes.
There are now three of you effectively trying to fight this Flavio guy. You've got your ferret down at his ankles. You're on his right side, and there's now Repetti on his left. Repetti looks really
Fantastic.
pissed off.
I am going to shift my position around him as I take him from the other side of Repetti. As I move through the motion, cutting my blade across him in the process.
Roll your attack.
He's still on drugs, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
What he actually is doing is just tap, 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 tap.
Excuse me, sir? Sir? Sir?
So what he's actually doing is just tap. And he's really quite good, but it's not appropriate in a fight.
Brunhilde, as you're focusing more on what's going on generally, you've got a fairly good picture of what's going on, despite the fact that there's some obstruction between you, the dais, and the maestro. The strange light, energy-like glow that was between Sophia and the maestro is now more of an orb encompassing the three of
As
them.
well. Well, the fight with Flavio, there are less people that I care about accidentally hitting there than there were a moment ago.
Was just thinking that.
I'm going to try and take a shot at Flavio. If I hit Repetti or that's your life.
Shit
I have at
happens.
least moved somewhat out of the way.
You might also hit the ferret.
Oh god, no.
If you manage to skewer a ferret, I will be well impressed.
Look, Orville is level 2 with 1 kill under his belt. If you kill him, I won't be happy.
I'm guessing that these guys probably count as
Cover?
hard cover, so probably I have an 18% chance of hitting. This will be fine. It's all going to be good. I haven't applied the modifiers to that. That's just a complete and utter failure anyway.
So, as with Leonard's shot,
D6.
there's 3 possible people you could hit from your line of fire.
It's not me, thanks.
You could hit, I say people, 3 possible targets.
Orville's
1 or 2, you hit the ferret. 3 or 4, you hit Erdit. 5, 6, Repetti. Either which way is another attack roll.
Yeah, so I'm not going to hit them anyway. But...
Oh, you say that now.
Erdit.
Oh, huzzah!
Oh, would you fucking really win?
Oh, that's amazing.
3!
Oh,
And
I
this,
love
ladies
it.
and gentlemen, is why you have to really think twice about shooting into melee.
I was quiet for it, but I just out one of the biggest sighs of relief that I wasn't the one that mucked that up. I've messed so much up so far.
Mate.
Okay, so that is going to be only the minimum 4 damage.
Oh, thank God for that.
Okay, where does it hit?
So the roll was
30.
3, which is 30,
Um,
which is, and underneath Chetty, 30 is right arm. So for a
Oh
start,
no.
that's your wounded arm.
Oh no, it's his left.
Oh, no,
Left arm.
that's right, because you've got
Left
the
is
shield on the
wounded.
left. So it's hit you on the right arm, it's hit your sword arm.
Right?
Armour.
So you have 1 point of armor because the shield covers pretty much everywhere,
Yes.
plus whatever armor you wear on as normal, and then you take your toughness off that as well.
Ah, fantastic. Our toughness is the T, I presume.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
my toughness is 3.
Oh.
The shield is 1.
So you take no damage.
You take
from
no
it.
damage.
Spang.
Is this the first?
Bounces off the rim of your shield as it was about to hit
Ting!
the arm.
Is this the first attack that you've hit?
I think it is, you know.
Yes, that's the only hit that I've made yet with Brunhilde, and even that didn't hit.
There was the mace incident.
That wasn't really.
Very
That doesn't count. I
That was
didn't
that was
roll
a target that wasn't moving. Shields for the win. Shields work, folks.
Yep.
Lenore,
What do you want?
your muscles aren't responding to your intent to move them.
Ooh, that's just unfair. Which kind of buggers up my next plan.
You feel kind of weird,
Yeah, I feel
You could-
anger at this
and you can
stage.
hear voices and
Yeah.
nothing,
he's-
not much that you can discern word-wise. Just a sort of faint rumbling in the back of your head that you know is a voice of some sort.
Yeah, I have no patience to give for this situation.
Yeah, another
And
willpower
I
check,
am-
please.
I am sticking my bolshiness in front of this. I'm wishing there was a willpower advancement I could have taken. Oh, God. However, I will take an 8 all day.
Right.
Yes.
Next round, you'll have control of your body and be able to act.
Okay, so I lose this round.
Yeah.
Basically go, fuck you, fuck you.
I
fuck
can
you,
do this.
fuck
I can do
you.
this. Yeah. Large. Yeah. That is your round. This round, fighting back
Yeah.
whatever it is that's stopping you from doing anything.
Yes, I'm not. Yes, I'm having absolutely no truck with this. No, I am not being anyone's mate.
That roll of 8 is absolutely a fuck you.
That was. Yay.
Ludovica's out. Rapetti. See if he can swing any more effectively against Flavio, who is putting up a fairly good fight against 3 attackers at the moment.
Told you it was a tough one.
Yeah, this Flavio guy, he's got 3 people up against him. He survived the first assault from Lenore, which is no small feat.
He's also probably got a fairly serious chest wound.
He doesn't look happy, but he's also still there standing and fighting. What did it say 30 was? 30 was right arm, was it?
Yeah.
I'm flicking between way too many pages here. I need a second copy of the rulebook somewhere so that I can...
Yeah. This is why I love having both PDF and real rulebook, because then you can flick between one, click on one, and you've got the other one with searchable capabilities.
I've lost the arms.
Is that the guy in Ninja Scroll? Sorry.
Okay, so Erdit, you can see that Rapetti has swung down on Flavio's... It was going for his head. Flavio ducked slightly, jinked slightly one way, and the sword has gone straight into his shoulder. And immediately, Flavio's dropped his sword. His arm's just now hanging limp at his side.
You just shield held him.
You need to grab the arm and stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Rapetti is cussing at him. Sounds like he's cussing at him in Tillian. Possible questioning of his parentage or things like that.
Ah, good blow, Rapetti.
I did not know you could do that with a pot of marinara sauce.
Or Giordano, whatever his name is.
Leonard,
Hello.
you're up.
Okay. Can I take stock of the room? You say there's this weird kind of orb thing.
Yes, it's sort of a glow of energy that's around Lenore, Sophia, and the Maestro. And there's strands of this energy flying between Sophia and the Maestro, and now Lenore and the Maestro.
Right. I'm going to get up, and I would like to position myself in between those strands and Lenore and Sophia.
Okay.
So, like, the diving tackle didn't work, now I'm just going to get in the way.
Okay. You literally just go around in front of them, just literally place yourself between Maestro and the 2 girls.
Yes, yeah, so effectively the strands are broken.
Okay.
In doing so, I'll also pull out my dagger. But I don't think I'll be able to do more than that. Because I've got to get up, move there, and...
Okay. So you're now in the middle of this ball of mystical energy.
Yeah. That's really because, say, if I have to kind of like stand up a bit or whatever, because let's say I want to break the strands between the Maestro and Sophia and Lenore.
Right. So you're positioning yourself. Background to Erdit and Ferret.
Fantastic. I need to finish this guy off, really.
Okay.
In fact, no. He's got decent people on him. I trust these 2. I'm going to pivot and go for the Grand Maestro.
Okay. How are you going to do this?
I'm going to charge him. Why not?
Okay. Go for it.
Oh, I'm going to miss.
No, you're not.
Okay.
Charging gives you plus 10 to your skill.
Oh, okay.
So you needed to roll under 58.
Ah.
Oh, fantastic. That is 6. Yeah, plus 4 strength, so 6. I really need to throw that plus 4 in there.
And 35 will be his right arm still.
Okay.
I think.
You've come running and you swing your sword at him. He raises his right hand and just catches your sword on the right hand side of his gauntlet, which has the
That's
same
showing
sort of
off.
sharp spikes and tines that Igor's did when you fought him earlier.
And that
Oh.
went so well.
I know not of this. I did not fight
Oh yeah, you
Igor.
didn't fight Igor. You cut a couple of the metal tines off of his gauntlet. Your blade isn't snared in with his gauntlet, but it doesn't seem to cause him too much hassle. But what has happened is that now there is only strands of energy between him and Sophia. Whether it's what Lenore did, whether it's what Leonard did, or whether it's what you did, or a combination of all three, there is now only strands of energy flowing between his eyes and Sophia's eyes. Brunhilde.
Yeah. What I was going to do won't work now.
Has Leonard just got in your way?
No. Heard it.
Ah, okay.
I was going to blather at the maestro.
Oh.
Can't do that now. In melee.
He's sufficiently distracted.
I'll have another go at Flavio.
Okay, go for it.
Chance of hitting him's gone up, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're not going to hit Erdit. Bloody hell.
Bloody hell. 5.
Yay.
Nicely done.
Indeed.
Now that Erdit's out of the way.
Oh,
Bloody hellfire.
Potential critical.
Nice.
Go for it.
Won't get it, obviously. No.
Didn't miss it by much.
no, that's a 13.
But it's still 9 points.
Yeah.
No, remember, because if it's a 3 and a 0, 0,
Toughness at hand, obviously, but
isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's a 31.
Or it's a 30.
Oh, 30, yeah, because that's a 10, not a.
No, it's still.
that's a 40. Unfortunately, that's the way it rolls the
Okay.
dice.
Yeah, it's a weirdy way of doing it.
So where did you hit him? 40 is the. Have you got the location chart there to hand?
It was 50, which
50.
I think is the chest, but without having the thing open in front of me, I'm not sure.
Sounds vaguely chest-ish.
Cat, sod off, little bastard.
No, that's the left arm.
Left arm.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
36.
the left arm. Yeah, it's all about the arms in this game.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wrong chart. Okay. So let me get this straight. Rapetti effectively disabled this guy's right arm. You've hit the left arm. What Rapetti did with his sword, you saw it happen. The arm went limp. He let go of the sword. Your pellet goes into his shoulder. Sorry, left shoulder.
This guy is now the Black Knight. Get over here or bite your kneecaps.
You're pretty sure you saw the pellet come out the other side.
Oh. That's going to
The
take
shoulder
some
looks
fixing.
dislocated. You can see it just hanging limp and just swinging in the breeze. And then you realise that the hole that the pellet made is spurting blood as he collapses to the floor.
Blue blaze. That's up there with breaking someone's ribs with a squirrel. I mean, come on. Well done.
Oh my
Drops
word.
to his knees first, and then face down onto the stone.
Nicely
Right.
done.
Congratulations. Lenore, you can feel your body
Okay.
willing to move again.
Yes, great. What am I looking at between me and the maestro?
Between you and the maestro is Leonard, who seems to
Right.
have drawn a dagger. Other than that, there is nothing between you. There's no energy transference between you.
Right.
You can just see that the energy transference between Maestro and Sophia. And it appears to be between his eyes and her eyes.
Right.
It has a
Okay.
purpley tinge to it.
Okie dokie. I'm going to, because this is nice and open, Leonard's not going to actually impinge on my actions too much, I think. We shouldn't, anyway. I am going to... Is drawing my sword going to take an action?
Nope.
Right then. I'm in basically a start position, so I am simply going to, from here, if I can charge him from this position,
Go
draw my
for it.
sword charge. Now, we've had words before. 69. 69 or less, please. Don't let Brunhilde show you up. The bloody halfling can hit.
Yeah, I think that last pellet of Brunhilde's was 50 cal.
Okay, so that's a 48, which is a hit.
Indeed it is.
Charging somebody down while wielding a two-hander. That's going to do it. Damage is... As he avoids it. Damage is +2, so d6 +2 plus strength, yeah?
Yep.
Oh yeah, my strength last sesh. Okay, 12
Okay.
to the 84.
What's 84?
That is right leg.
Okay.
I can move because of my
Well, you can either make it the body or the left leg then.
strike to injure.
You can move it by, I
By
think
10.
it's up to 10 points
Yep.
in
Okay.
either direction.
Yeah, so
Right.
74 would be body, 94 would be left leg.
Yeah.
Excuse me, 84 is right leg.
So I can either try and lop his leg off. Yeah, what the hell? I'll stick with the leg I've hit.
Okay.
Because if he's going to have any armor on, he's more likely to have armor on his body than on his legs.
This is
I mean,
true.
personally, I'm hoping for bare-legged under the robes and sandals.
Well, if anything else, it might hobble him, which will break the eye contact.
Sadly, the solidity with which your blade connects with his shin tells you that he is wearing armor.
Ah, bastard.
He's not a real wizard.
It doesn't clang like metal,
Oh.
but it doesn't give like leather.
Oh. Ooh.
He might be a real wizard.
Yeah. So how do cold shots work in Warhammer, just out of curiosity?
Oh god, I'd have to
They
look.
don't.
Yeah, I don't think there
Don't
is a
they?
thing. I think
Okay.
the closest you have is strike
What
to
sort
injure.
of cold shots are you talking about?
I'm just wondering about using a cold shot to the head.
No, you've still got to be within 10 points of it, basically.
Yeah.
Just the. I suppose there is a modifier for a small target that could be applied, but
Possibly.
it's not a very big modifier compared to what
Okay.
the effect it's giving you.
No problem then. Oh well. He's whatever armor he's got. I just swapped him for 12.
You did indeed.
Has he taken any of it? Because if he hasn't, I say we turn over the reins of power.
You've knocked him back a step, certainly. If it
Yikes.
hurt, he didn't give any indication of it.
I wonder what he's hiding underneath that robe.
Are you planning to disrobe the enemy?
I'm thinking he's chitinous under there, personally.
He is, however, taking a swing at you, but misses.
That's
With one of
weird.
those nicely spiked, gauntleted fists of his. But what you
I
have
don't like
succeeded
those.
in doing is breaking the connection he had with Sophia.
That, to be fair, was my priority.
He is now fully focused on you.
Oh, good. That makes me feel better.
Thought you'd gone away.
You can.
In the-
Sounds like he's laughing. You can hear that sort of.
Okay, the guy comes with his own echo mic. If we didn't know he was evil.
Well, now we do.
The echo was intended specifically. You can hear that echo.
Oh, good. Good. Yikes.
Only Drut heard the laugh. Oh, sorry, only Lenore heard the laugh.
Yeah, he's doing it straight to my frontal lobe, isn't he? Good. So, who's after Lenore?
Rapetti now no longer has a target because someone's killed the guy he was on. And it's fairly crowded around the Maestro, so he's circling. He's not making any attacks. He's circling around looking for an opening, because the only other person that he can attack is the Maestro.
Makes sense.
So Leonard,
Is okay. My intention is to turn around on Miss Sixpence, bundle up Sophia, paying attention to try and close her eyelids and cover her eyes, and then basically make a beeline for it out of the room.
say that again.
My intent is to turn around 180,
Yep.
so my back to the Maestro, move forward at that point so I can try and pick up Sophia,
Mm-hmm.
taking care to cover her eyes. I'll get her eyelids shut, put my hand over her eyes,
Okay.
and head for the door.
Okay. Make me a weapon skill check as a grapple.
This will likely end poorly.
This sounds like it would count as fleeing combat.
Which does mean, yes, that did occur to
Yeah.
me as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Which means two things. One, from your roll, you didn't grab Sophia. You missed, slipped, whatever. And the Maestro did take a swing at you, but his aim was wild. Clearly he's too busy looking at the crazy woman with the big sword. So there's a sort of
So-
swoosh
so-
behind you as you move that you assume is the Maestro's fist.
In my interaction with Sophia, I'm obviously missing and the like. Does she seem out of it, responsive? How's she behaving?
I don't think Sophia's at home.
Right, okay.
There's,
She's just out of it.
given that you know these guys sedate people, knock them out, the chances are she's under heavy sedation.
Okay.
Certainly she's not showing any signs of recognising that there's even a fight going on around her. She's just stood there placid as kneeling there placid as anything.
Right.
So it's not that she tried to dodge out of your way to avoid being grappled, just that you missed the grapple.
Right. Despite missing, is there any way I can, so to cover her eyes, even if I didn't manage to pick her up and grab her, or is it completely?
Yeah, no, that's feasible. I mean, she's not putting up any specific resistance. You just didn't get the.
Yeah.
So covering up her eyes is not a problem.
Okay. So basically, covering her eyes and continuing to put me between her and the Maestro.
Okay, so your back is to the Maestro at all times.
Indeed.
Okay, just being sure. Erdit.
Yes. This guy has blocked my blow for the last time, hopefully. Let's see if I can strike true this time. No!
Ooh.
Right, you know that whole double that fails is a critical failure. That's an optional rule that I'm not using.
Yeah.
I'm not using that optional rule.
Oh, thank God for that.
It'd be really fun if you just, if I looked it up anyway, though, wouldn't it?
Go for it. Look it up anyway. It's not going to happen, but I'm curious as to what it would be.
One and two-handed weapons, yes. 99, your blow goes wild, leaving you in an awkward position. Your opponent will attack first next round, regardless of your initiative score.
So not as terrible as it may have sounded.
Not
No.
as terrible as it could have been.
Yes,
No.
it makes a move to strike and instead displays a impressively poor show of swordsmanship.
There's a wonderful pirouette.
Brunhilde.
Yes.
So what you can see now is that Leonard's trying to effectively grab Sophia and get her out of the situation. Repetti's looking for an opening on Maestro. Lenore and Erdit are engaged with Maestro.
Sorry, just for my own clarity, is Ludwika still out for the count?
Ludwika is still on the ground. Repetti was there for a moment or two with her before he then moved into the fight.
Right, gotcha, thank you.
But she hasn't moved since collapsing at the doorway. What are you doing, Brunhilde?
What kind of a line of fire on the Maestro do I have, if at all?
You've got two friends in melee with him. From where you are, Sophia and Leonard are also partially obscuring.
I think, under the circumstances, my best bet is possibly to try and give covering fire to Leonard.
Not a bad idea.
Not actually aiming to hit, but just trying to put a stone between Leonard and the Maestro
Okay.
to try and discourage him from further attacks in that direction.
Yep, that makes sense.
Which I think probably would count as a small target because I'm aiming for a fairly
Yeah.
precise area.
So a specific stone.
So
But you're not aiming for a person. You're not shooting into melee. So
Then
well
again,
done.
If it's small target is -10,
you've still
giving
done
bring
it.
my ballistic skill down to 28, roll of 27.
Oh, nice.
Nicely
Good
done.
shot.
That stone's gone exactly where you want it to go. See, now you're not
Yeah.
trying to shoot someone. You can do it.
That's it. See, she's obviously just a pacifist. She just doesn't like the idea of hurting anybody.
Okay, stone nicely placed. I will certainly give that as covering fire for Leonard. Lenore.
I'm going to take a full-on swing at this guy because I think putting him down as hard and as fast as possible is ideal in this situation.
So no disagreement there.
So yeah, he's going to get Zweihander hopefully where it hurts. The damage back to the 59.
Stab him! Stab him!
It's not really a
Have
stabby
you met
weapon.
Gutter? Stab him.
Yeah,
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
it's not really a stabby weapon unless I could see the joins in his armour. Then it would be a stabby weapon because half swording was kicking. But that's a different thing. Okay. 23.
That's gonna hit unless
That's
he is able to
definitely
parry.
going to hit.
Which he is not able to parry.
Excellent stuff.
Okay, that is right arm, or you can make it left arm.
Yeah, hang on. Let me roll damage. This might be just a pointless exercise anyway. That's a 6 on the damage roll. Is that a crit, potentially?
Yep.
Yeah.
Roll it again.
Roll against weapon skill.
57.
which is less than your weapon skill of
It is 59.
another d6 damage.
Yay. Another 6.
The 6 explodes. Because you only do the re-roll once, the attack roll once. You've confirmed the crit.
Right, okay.
So you've got 12 damage. Re-roll the d6 again.
Right.
This is how Dave punched out a Minotaur.
I kind of feel like I ought to be live streaming this bit. Okay, fortunately that one was only 3. So
15 plus
15.
strength plus 2 for the weapon.
17.
yeah,
And your strength is...
that's 5. So that's 22.
So 22.
Okay.
Don't forget to take off armor and toughness.
Yeah, and because of your skill, your choice of right or left arm.
It's a shame I can only go for the arm, but I will go for his right arm because that's his dominant, probably.
Okay, right arm.
That arm's always telling the other one what to do.
I know.
Well, it's always right.
Ouch.
Yeah, but it's always ahead of the game because the other one's left.
God.
Has no place in this session.
Well, that's the problem that Brunhilde's got, of course. Is that one of her arms
Ouch.
is always right, and you
Yeah.
haven't got the other anymore because it left.
No.
Drut, your sword smashes through the arm and into his chest, caving in one side of his ribcage.
Yes!
His arm is completely severed. You are covered in
Excellent.
blood from the arterial spurt,
Work.
and he
Work.
falls to the floor
Wait.
instantly dead.
Is it instant dead, did you just say?
Yes.
Excellent! Sorry, I'm quite happy about that.
I don't know how tough you thought he was, but just looking at the
Well-
damage you've done,
Yeah.
12, 22.
Well, it was this slightly staggered by being hit in the leg for 12, and I was thinking, oh shit.
Yeah, he survived that.
Yeah, that basically means that first 12 attack, that cleared out his wounds.
Oh,
Which means this 22
freaking
took
armor.
him straight to the maximum critical column.
Oh. I
Yep.
mean, it's not like I affected it anyway, because I just literally took what
Fish.
the dice showed me.
Yeah, Fish got it exactly right, yeah.
I would like to think that my initial roll of 4 damage loosened him for you.
Exactly, yeah. You loosened the cap, and then I took
That
it
was the
straight
equivalent
off.
of banging it on the counter a couple of times.
Exactly, and run it under the hot tap.
Also, clearly, my bolt, distracted him.
And the stone caught him off guard so that he couldn't put him off guard, he couldn't parry. Yeah, team
Right.
effort.
Yeah, see,
team
he-
effort.
He flinched away from the stones straight into a large sword.
What we're trying to say is it's a group effort.
It is.
Absolutely,
Now,
yeah.
as soon as he goes down, however,
Yep.
Lenore is going to stamp kick his ribcage. I
Okay.
know he's dead, I don't care.
Basically, the message we were giving there was we split the XPs.
Absolutely.
So yeah, stumping
were
a mud
an
hole in the rib cage.
Well, I
Yeah.
can't understand Leonard not getting anything because he's basically just gone. "Wah, wah, wah."
Yeah, but we were an ace away from you guys having to face Lenore as well if you possessed her.
I did try and stop that.
Yeah, I know.
I failed.
But we
but I
weren't
did
going to
try.
allow that. We possess Lenore, thank you very much.
So,
As you said, possession is 9/10 of the law.
Yeah, still want to work up a t-shirt design.
Go you
Possession
two.
is not head of the law, LORE.
So all
Something
these
for
whispery
necromancers or
weird lights,
demonologists or something.
we ain't got all these whispery weird lights. That's not what we've got to worry about. It's the smell. And Leonard has that in abundance.
Yes.
and with that
Okay.
climactic action, I'm going to call it there for the night.
Yep.
And we'll do the wrap up next time.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
Because that's got some fun things to come out of it now.
Oh, goody.
Oh,
Oh, wacko. We have eliminated the maestro. The 4 demons he summoned are now coming back from their lunch break.
Yeah, are now released and have no controller.
Yes. Oh, that'll make me feel happier. I'm
So-
hoping he's got a cupboard full of gladiators.
I hope you guys have enjoyed the session so far.
Yes, thank you.
And I really hope you enjoyed stomping a mud hole in the maestro.
Yes, I take this personally. That was a very nice birthday present. Thank you.
Happy birthday. And thanks everyone that was watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the show.